Okay, we're calling the meeting to order. Roll call, please.
President Rios?
Present.
Vice President Mendoza?
Present.
Board Clerk Yu? Board Member Apodaca?
Here.
Board Member La?
Here.
Board Member Nishi? Board Member Say? Board Member Say?
I wonder if they know to enter that added code to speak, because that's what I had trouble with.
If you can hear us but you can't speak, hit 4 and then the star sign. We don't have a quorum.
Hello, this is Ernie. Can you hear me?
Oh.
There we go.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
We have a quorum.
Board Clerk Yu? Or Board Member Say? I will call them after closed session. I'll call them right now.
Danielle, can I ask you to do the roll call again?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, President Rios?
Present.
Vice President Mendoza?
Present.
Board Clerk Yu? Please press 4 star to speak.
Can you hear me?
Board Clerk Yu, yes.
Yeah, you can hear me. Okay. I could hear you guys, but you couldn't hear me. Okay.
Okay. Board Member Apodaca?
Here.
Sophia, I'm here too. Hello?
Okay. Board Member La?
Here.
Board Member Nishi?
Here?
Board Member Say?
Here?
Thank you.
Okay, this evening we will be discussing the following items in closed session: existing litigation, Special Educational Settlement Agreement (OAH) number 20200200515. Madam Clerk, are there any public comments on closed session items?
There is none.
Okay, at this moment we will move to closed session. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Can I get a roll call? Ms. President Yu?
Rios?
I'm sorry,
Yes.
President Rios?
Yes.
Vice President Mendoza?
Yes.
Board Clerk Yu?
Yes.
Board Member Apodaca?
Yes.
Board Member La?
Yes.
Board Member Nishi?
Yes?
Board Member Say?
Yes?
Thank you. 7-0.
Okay, we will now move to closed session.
Huzzah.
So
Thank you.
we hang up and call back on that other number, correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So what do we need to do?
Hang up and then dial the closed session number and then enter the conference code.
The
Is there a
same number we call?
Yeah, same
No.
number but different conference code.
What is the different conference code? I don't have that. Is it here?
Oh, it is. It's actually the same thing. It's 654456.
Actually, we're in open session right now, so refer to your email.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
So can you text me?
Yes.
Okay.
Chris Apodaca, Trustee Area 7 here.
Sophie Jeff here.
Mendoza here.
Ernie,
I'm
is she here?
Okay. Rios is here. Board Clerk Yu? Okay, we'll give her a minute. Board Member Law?
Madam President, sometimes we don't know if can be heard unless somebody says, we can hear you. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Okay, so you want me to acknowledge?
It'd be nice.
Okay, will do. Board Member Say?
Present?
Oh, you're here. Sorry. Board Member Law? Board Clerk, you?
Let me text her.
Board Member Law or Board Member you, if you can hear me, you have to add that added code to speak.
I did.
Oh, I don't know why I keep calling on you. Oh, there you are. Okay, so Board Member Law is on. We're just missing Board Clerk you. Okay, do we want to go ahead with the meeting? She'll hopefully join us very soon.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. At this point, let me have a motion to move back into open session.
So moved.
Second? Sophia, second?
Roll call, Danielle.
Mr. Apodaca?
Yes.
Mr. Law?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Nishi?
Yes?
Dr. Rios?
Yes.
Mrs. Say?
Yes?
Mrs. Yu? Motion passes 6-0.
Okay. At this point, we
Hello,
welcome
can you
public
guys
com-
hear me?
Oh, there you are. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, you is present. Okay, we welcome public comments. Comments submitted will be presented during public comment section, which is limited to 1 hour, and each speaker to one presentation of 5 minutes, unless the board wishes to waive the time limit. Those who have a group concern are encouraged to select a spokesperson to address the board. Comments submitted regarding a special agenda item will be presented following the staff comments and prior to the board's discussion and taking action. Tonight, in closed session, the board discussed existing litigation and approved a special education settlement agreement in the amount of $5,000 for OAH 2020020515 by a vote of 7-1. At this time, can
7 to
Vice
1?
President
7-0.
sorry, 7-0. Thank you for the correction. Hi, guys. 7-0. At this point, can I have Vice President Mendoza lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes. If you can stand wherever you are, put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America.
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the agenda for the regular meeting of April 7th, 2020?
So moved.
Apodaca, so moved.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Apodaca?
Yes.
Mr. Law?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Nishi?
Yes?
Dr. Rios?
Yes?
Mrs. Say?
Yes?
Mrs. Yu?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of March 4th, 2020?
Apodaca, so moved.
Sophia.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Apodaca?
Yes.
Mr. Law?
Abstain.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Nishi?
Yes?
Dr. Rios?
Yes.
Mrs.
May I
Say?
have the... Oh,
Yes?
Mrs. Yu?
Yes.
Motion passes 6 601.
601.
601. Had it backwards.
Okay, thank you. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the emergency board meeting on March 13th, 2020?
Ernie, yes. So moved.
Second,
Mendoza.
yeah.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Apodaca?
Yes.
Mr. Law?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Nishi?
Yes.
Dr. Rios?
Yes.
Mrs. Say?
Yes.
Mrs. Yu?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Superintendent's report?
Did we lose our superintendent?
Dr. Su?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Me? Okay,
Yes,
thank
we
you
can
so
hear you
much. Thank you. First, I'd like to begin by saying that I hope the Board of Education, our district staff, students, families, and the communities that we serve are healthy and well. It's probably safe to say that during the past 3 weeks that this has been among some of the most tumultuous and emotional that any of us can remember in our lifetime. The impact of the coronavirus outbreak has been felt by all of us in ABC Unified School District. However, I feel like our responses to this crisis has been extraordinary. I deeply appreciate the board's decision to authorize me to close or dismiss schools during this crisis. Due to the current safety concerns and needs for ongoing social distancing, our students will not be able to return to our school campuses the remainder of this year. This is in full alignment to Governor Newsom, State Superintendent Tony Thurman, and Dr. Deborah Duardo, our Superintendent of Los Angeles County Office of Education. This is not to suggest that school is over for the year. Instead, we have put all our efforts into strengthening our delivery of education through our online Learning at Home program. Dr. Colin Sprigg, the Director of IT, will be following me in my report tonight to explain further about our distance learning program. I recognize that this creates hardships for some of our students, families, and educators. However, we are urging a safety-first approach out of an abundance of caution. During the past 3 weeks, we have disseminated over 5,000 devices and 1,000 hotspots for the students in our district. We realize that we need to accelerate our efforts for the remainder of this school year. In addition, we have been able to provide grab-and-go meals at 10 sites in our district. Over 14,000 meals are served in a week for our students. Although we are required to follow the guidelines of social distancing, I realize that we all have a deeply felt need to be connected with one another. We realize that graduation, for example, is one of the moments that matter the most in our lifetime. Dr. Krishina Wise, Director of Secondary School, has provided a survey to over 1,700 seniors in the class of 2020, as well as to our parents, PTSA, principals, and the Board of Education. We hope to get everyone's responses by tomorrow. We know that this moment will not be the same as in the previous years. However, I feel confident that we can be creative in coming up with an outcome for the class of 2020. I also want to relay to all of our listeners my heartfelt appreciation of all the members on our cabinet, our teachers, classified staff, and their families. In addition to Dr. Colin Sprigg, I've also asked Patty DuPont-Tyler, head of our health services, to say a few words regarding making sure that we all stay healthy in our district. While much remains uncertain right now, one thing is for sure: this crisis will pass. So please stay safe and healthy, everyone. At this time, I'd like to invite Dr. Colin Sprague to present the online Learning at Home program.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sue. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay, thank you. Good evening, Board President Rios, board members, and Dr. Sue. Pleased to be a status report regarding ABC's online learning program that officially began for all ABC students and teachers on Thursday, March 19th. This coming Thursday will mark the end of our third full week already of ABC students learning online at home. Based on observed California.
You're cutting out. Every third word
I'm losing him.
Yeah, same here. I was going to say that.
It's kind of breaking.
Breaking up.
Dr. Sprague, can you use a different system to call in?
Yes.
Because people are not able to hear your report tonight.
Sometimes use a cell phone.
I'm going to call back. Okay.
Issue there. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Colin.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm calling in on another phone.
Perfect. We can hear you now.
You can? Okay. Should I keep going?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I didn't say please.
Nope, breaking up again.
Never mind.
Okay.
Can he use a home line?
Did we test this before?
I'm sorry, board member Nishii, what was your question?
Did we test this before?
We tested it internally, but I don't know about people who are calling in.
Got it.
This is Chris, probably a reception issue or, but I think it's safe to say at this point.
Okay, can you hear me?
We haven't taken much. There you go.
Okay.
Yes, I can hear you. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
That's better.
Give me just another 30 seconds. I'm going to... Give me just 30 seconds.
Oh, now there's feedback.
Uh-oh.
Okay. All right, I'm almost ready. Sorry about that. Okay, where should I start?
From the beginning.
Okay, my apologies. Let's try this again. So, I'm pleased to provide a status report regarding ABC's online Learning at Home program that officially began for all ABC students and teachers on Thursday, March 19th. This coming Thursday will mark the end of our full third week of ABC students learning online at home. In my estimation, based on what we've observed coming out of districts throughout California and consider...
Hello, hold on a second. Are you walking, talking?
No.
That wind is...
Can you hear okay?
You okay?
Okay. So, in my estimation, based on what we observed throughout California, and considering the environment we're working in, we're very pleased with current status and very appreciative to all the ABC staff that have brought online learning to fruition. I'd like to acknowledge the district's technology integration project as fundamental to what's happening today with our students and teachers in their homes. If you think about it, this is our 5th year of the TIP program. Currently have surpassed 20,000 Chromebooks in our schools. Virtually every student has their own device in ABC schools. ABC teachers have been experiencing professional development that has now progressed over 5 years, enabling the majority of basics of online learning. And the same is true for the majority of ABC students. So TIP has been fundamental in transforming how we do business in our schools. And as a consequence, the abrupt nature of the school closures and the redirection of instruction to online learning is really not something new for the majority of our teachers and students. And I share this just to acknowledge how the board's clear and strong support for technology in ABC over the last 5 years is directly connected to the early successes we're seeing today with over 20,000 students and all their teachers now working from home. Next, I'd like to report out on a few specific areas, which will include infrastructure, professional development, and tech support. So the week prior to our kickoff of the online learning program, we had to lock in some critical infrastructure plans. We surveyed as many ABC students as possible prior to school closing, and about 5% of our students said they did not have internet at home, and about 5% of the students said they didn't have a device at home. So we informed our schools, and our principals were able to work with their library staff, and they did an outstanding device checkout procedure across the district very early on. We got our numbers right with the hotspots. About 1,000 kids said they needed internet, and we were able to order 1,000 hotspots, and we will finish distributing the last 100 hotspots this week. After that, based on the data we have covered the students' and families' internet needs, as we know based on the info we have to date. As far as devices, we underestimated that need. It wasn't 1,000 devices. It was 5,000 devices. So that was a surprise, but we have the devices, and schools have been busily and doing a great job in getting those devices in our kids' hand. Finally, the last piece of infrastructure, not really infrastructure, but it's kind of like infrastructure, and that's our Google Classroom. It's a learning management system that our teachers and students are quite familiar with, and it digitizes traditional classroom workflow, teachers assigning things online communications between the class members and the teacher, and collaborating, and all those productivity tools. Students can turn their work in digitally, and teachers can grade it and return it. So that's the Google Classroom. On to professional development. We surveyed our teachers the week before we shut down, and we got data that said that 63% of our teachers feel very well versed with Google Classroom. So that was the majority of our folks. We felt really good about that, but 35% said either they're somewhat comfortable with it, or they said they've never even used it. So on those 2 training dates, March 17th and March 18th, that we work very closely with our union partners, the whole district rallied together to put on a fantastic 2-day professional development, and we really focused on that 35%. But the Academic Services Department was there in full force, and they provided over 25 different online classes that covered the district's online textbooks and resources. They had sessions for special ed teachers. They had question and answer sessions for elementary and secondary teachers. And the IT department focused on Google Classroom and Google conferencing, video conferencing, and Aries communications. Moving on to technical support, a big consideration was, okay, with 20,000 kids home and all their parents, how are we going to answer everybody's question from home? Well, as you know, we have 6 technical assistant IT staff members. They're normally assigned to schools throughout the year. These staff members, as well as many other support folks, are manning what we're calling a tele-support, like a technical support telecenter that's open from 8:30 to 4 every day that school's in session. And they have been able to answer over 500 calls early on from our parents asking questions like, how do you log in? Or, how do I get a device? Every parent got a one-on-one personalized service from a Google certified technician, and they deserve a lot of credit for taking the edge off that very first week and lowering the anxiety of many people out there who was just coming on board with our online learning at home program. I've been asked by Dr. Sue, so what kind of statistics do we have? And I've been able to give Dr. Sue a few things. One particular analytic that I like is the fact that over the last week, 19,000 unduplicated users, and that includes ABC students and teachers, have logged into a Google Classroom within the last week. That's 19,000. So that doesn't tell us exactly what's going on in that Google Classroom, but at least it shows that we have a huge group of people finding their way to the Google Classrooms of our teachers across the district. We're kind of in phase 2 right now as we move into spring break. Our focus is shifting from an emergency mentality to a mentality of helping our community become more comfortable and more structured with the online learning at home program. So, for example, the academic services team recently created a family guidelines to support learning at home for secondary and elementary parents. And it really helps parents structure their students' day, and it gives tips on everything from classwork and how to create a daily schedule, tips for English language learners, special education, and giving parents help so that they can support their children in learning at home. Finally, another project we're working on right now is video conference technology. It's a current effort that we have in draft form. We are now circulating that draft with our constituents for feedback. And our hope is that when we return from spring break, we will have an official and sanctioned video conference technology ready for all of our teachers and students, supported by a robust training program. We're gearing up to start that the week we return from spring break. And that ends, and I hope you could hear what I've been saying, the presentation.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sprague. At this time, I would also like to turn it over to Patty DuPont-Tyler, who will talk a little bit about how to stay healthy in ABC.
Dr. Sue, we have questions?
Can we wait until Patty DuPont-Tyler is finished?
Well, does that mean you're going to bring him back?
Yes.
I'm still here.
We'll stay on the phone until this report is over.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Thank you. Patty? Patty? Are you able
Dr. Sprague, if you could move your phone because of the air.
Yes. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you so much.
Yes. Good evening, everybody. It's great to be with you tonight. I'm going to jump on and piggyback with Dr. Sue's message in wishing that everyone stay safe and healthy through this very difficult time. And I want to report that ABC has been faithful in aligning their practices with the recommendations of the experts from the CDC and other local health agencies in practicing social distancing, recommending frequent hand washing, staying at home when you're sick, and all these other measures. And most recently, there's the recommendation of wearing face covers or homemade masks in public spaces where social distancing might be difficult, like if you go to a grocery store or places like that. And I'm happy to report that we have been in close alignment, complete alignment with the recommendations of the experts.
Patty, thank you so much for your brief report. At this time, if there are any comments or questions, we'd be glad to address them.
Yes, I do have a couple questions for Dr. Spriggs.
Go ahead,
Is he there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Dr. Spriggs.
After lady will be Sophia, please.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Spriggs. I just want to thank you and the staff for taking this on, because it's a huge undertaking to go from being in a classroom to having our kids learning at school. So thank you so much to everyone. I did have some questions.
Sure.
I know we're doing distance learning, online learning at home. I like to call it remote learning because I know our students, our communities are very diverse, and we do have parents who are working. We have elderly grandparents. We have older siblings who are taking care of our students, the younger ones. What are we doing for our primary kids, for the kinder and the first graders who might have gotten iPads and who might not be able to get onto Google Classroom? What recommendations are we giving to them? And also, are we giving recommendations to our teachers and our families about how much time students should be online? I know it's been recommended that primary only be on there for maybe 1 to 2 hours, and it moves up as we go in grade levels. Did we pass that out to our teachers, to our families? I know you also mentioned video conferencing. Are we going to make that mandatory for all our high school and middle schools? I can't see kindergartners doing video conferencing. I know teachers can manage it, but it's not something that I would kind of want to mandate for all of our classrooms to do. And also, I'm really concerned about privacy for our younger students. Are we going to be asking for parental consent to video conference with them? So I know it's a lot. So if you could just touch on some of the questions. Thank you.
Okay. Well, Academic Services put out a very comprehensive guide for families and schools and administrators and teachers. So Valencia could speak to that better than I, but I can tell you inside the elementary and the secondary document are very specific recommendations for how many hours. There are schedules on what subjects should be taught on which days, etc. So yes, it's out. It's very specific, and it's a great move to really pull together and unify what's going on out there in online learning, so that it's not all over the place like it kind of was when we first kicked it off. So I hope that answers that question. As far as primary teachers, survey data said that the primary teachers made up the largest percentage of teachers that reported they have not used it, okay? So we know that the primary teachers need the most support. However, we have a program that we created a couple of years ago we call Little Google. And we're very proud of this program. We've been taking kindergarten and even TK teachers through the TIP program, and they get one-to-one devices, and their teachers get trained. So we have some all-star teachers out there right now who are willing to help train others. In fact, today we had a professional, we call it Tech Tuesdays, and today we focused on those primary teachers, and we had a couple hundred attendees teaching us to learn not only about the primary element, but a variety of other subjects. So I guess my answer is We know that they need a lot of support, and they are bringing technology on board to really create a hybrid environment that would combine with the paper, pencil, and scissors, which is very important for this age group. So technology is not to replace that kind of thing. So we're trying to meet teachers where they are, understanding that they may never even have logged into a classroom before, a Google Classroom. So we get it, and we're providing weekly training that teachers may self-select anytime they're ready. We're going to be there to handhold them and get them up and running. As far as parents, what we did with our parents, TK through grade 4, we gathered all the online credentials that we have on record. So in other words, what the student's email address is, what their login is, and we did it for Google, but we did it for all the applications kids use in their classrooms. We did a mail merge specific to every family, and we mailed it home. The parents got it on the 19th or 20th of March. So all of our TK through 4 have that piece of paper, and they can log in on behalf of the little ones. And not only the parent, but if there's a caregiver that could help out, they'll have those credentials to log in and try to help keep kids, engaged online as well. So it's new for us. We're going to have to keep our ears open for how to best approach this question. And but those are a couple of things we're doing right now. Video conferencing, it's not required. Keep in mind, it's a draft right now. There's nothing, signed off by our union partners and the cabinet. We're just kind of talking back and forth. But I can tell you the general spirit of where we are is that this is not a requirement. This is for teachers that choose to use this technology when they're ready. So there's no expectation that everyone use video conferencing at all. And we've done a lot of research on best practices because you've probably seen in the news there's been some pitfalls. And I know we're taking an extra couple weeks, but I feel we'll all be glad we did if it helps us avoid some problems that we can navigate around taking that time. So I feel pretty good as to where the draft is, and hopefully soon throughout the week we can move to a solid draft that we can start using after.
Thank you so much.
Olga, this is Sophia.
Sophia, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, Colin, I have a couple questions to you. I'm teaching online. Actually, I'm one of the person we don't teach online class. We use Zoom. It's not easy for the teacher. I understand that. But however, when you mention the online education right now to our district, but to me, some teacher does have to communicate with the student, but some don't. They just give homework to the student and that's it. And there are some teachers, just like you said, 35%, they still need our help. And you have 6 IT staff. You talk about 500 calls for the 6 IT. That's a lot per person. Do you think you might need an extra couple staff for this IT and support our teacher? Because I do know I have two students actually call me back. A teacher sending 60 message to them, and they have a lot of concern themselves. So how do you 6 IT is that enough for you?
Well, you should know that the very first week is when we got this massive barrage of constant calls. We had 5 people standing by on a rotating call center basis. So the first person that would answer, they'd be talking, and when the phone rang again, it automatically went to the next person, just like a real call center. But now the phone calls have been reduced, not in the hundreds, but in the tens. I think we've taken the edge off the initial basic questions, and so many people have those little hurdles at the beginning taken care of, and it's much more manageable. In fact, we're down to 3 people staffing the line each day, not 5. So I think we're okay. I mean, we're always up for extra staff, but I think we're okay.
My second question, when you talk about home study, now we're going to have video. Some teachers can, some teachers don't. It seems like we're having a social distance, but we also social isolated children right now. I teach in college. I can see all my students. I mean, how do you control this? In the school, we can monitor them and sit there and listen. But when you're home, I heard a couple teachers complain about the student not present there. I mean, how do we do constructive education? How do we monitor them when some teachers just give 1 hour homework and then that's it? The kids have nothing else to do at home. If you, in the future, because they're going to be home about 1 to 2 months, how do we make more constructive teaching? For me, when I teach my class, from my students, if that class is 8 to 12:30, and my class starting at 8 o'clock, end up to 12 o'clock, I do give them a break. That's what we call constructive education. It definitely will provide information. Otherwise, we are going to be behind on education to our children due to this crisis. How do you prevent that? How do you maintain the student will sit in front? Because a lot of students, especially high school, they check in and they're gone. For me, I do rendering. I'll call the student, ask them questions, and they will answer me back. How do you monitor that?
Well, that's a great question, an easy question. And I think the answer is we're going to evolve. Each day we're in online learning, we're going to evolve farther and farther along to do better and better at that. So, for example, that family guidance document, that was our first major step to try to create some equity across the whole district so that some kids get, 1 hour of work and other kids are getting 6 hours.
That's correct. Do we? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, you're still here, Sophia.
I have one more question that I would let other board member to talk to. Okay. But attendance, do we count that? Does the teacher also get full salary pay?
I don't think that's a question for Dr. Sprigg.
I agree. This is Dr. Shu. I agree that the attendance piece we have already worked out. Antoine, when he has an opportunity, can speak about the attendance issue, but it's not done through our online learning at home program.
How about the teacher? Because we do hear some teachers complain on the Facebook say they don't get enough pay. Are they still get the full salary during this crisis thing?
Yes, they are.
Okay, then I'd like to see some more constructive education. Okay, I'll come back, President.
I'm sorry, did we lose Dr. Sprigg? I feel like we've lost Dr. Sprigg momentarily.
Patty. Is Patty there? Dr. Sue?
Yes?
Is it Dr.
I think we lost both of them.
One more question. Is Patty there?
I'm here. Patty's here.
I need to ask you something. I know we serve the meal to the student Monday to Thursday. Am I right?
It's
Yes.
Monday and Wednesday now. We serve.
I thought we sent it out Monday to Thursday.
No, we have changed it this week, and we started to serve multiple meals on Monday and Wednesdays.
Okay. Those staff who serve the food, have they been tested or not been tested for the coronavirus?
The way I understand it, testing is for people who are symptomatic. There is they can call their primary providers, or there's a site online questionnaire to determine whether you're eligible for testing.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry.
It's Patty.
Healthy,
a lot of carriers, they might not symptomatic. They might not. That was the whole thing we discussed. So to our staff, if they're going to serve the food, especially you require the student there, I am worried about this.
I'm back now. Got
Okay, Colin Sprigg is back. Sophie, you think you can hold that so that other people can ask Colin Sprigg about IT?
Apodaca next.
Bernie Nishi after.
Sue next.
Hello?
President?
Hello, I'm here. Hello?
Okay, I think attendance was not related to technology, or maybe we can have that addressed at a different time. Are there any more technology questions for Dr. Sprigg?
Yes, Chris, Ernie, and Sue have questions.
Okay. I don't know who was next in line, so
Chris.
So I just wanted to make a quick statement and thank Dr. Sprigg for all your hard work. Obviously, we are in extraordinary times, meaning outside of what we're used to, outside of the ordinary, outside of the normal day-to-day. So I wanted to thank you and your team for putting everything together. Also wanted to thank your amazing response district-wide to making sure that our students have access to technology. And I've heard nothing but positive feedback. And in fact, 100% of the students that I referred to the district received the technology pieces that they needed. So I wanted to give you a very heartfelt thank you and let you know that your hard work is appreciated. And so thank you. And as far as the folks who are asymptomatic that are helping out, and we went from Monday to Wednesday to cut back on exposure, but also short of keeping them from working, our nutrition workers, from working, they're taking all of the precautions, and I can't for a minute believe that any of them would show up to work if they were symptomatic or if they were around anybody who was symptomatic. I have faith in the staff, especially at our district, but at the school sites, to say, well, if you have even the slightest symptom, stay away from the food that you're serving our children. And so I want to appreciate them and thank them, and also thank Dr. Sue and staff for putting in the order to make sure that they have masks, that they do have personal protective equipment while they are at the school sites serving our students. I've heard nothing but positive reactions from parents as well, surprisingly, with regards to our food service, having it be on Monday and Wednesday to making sure that they have those meals enough meals for Monday through Friday. So thank you to our nutrition services workers. You're valued, especially here in Area 7. You're amazing. Thank you so much for what you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Ernie?
Yes. Hi. Thank you, Madam President. So a couple of questions. First, regarding the video conferencing. I'm guessing that you guys are going to be setting guidelines for the selecting a particular technology or software for the video conferencing for synchronous learning, correct?
That's correct. It's in draft form right now, and the direction it's going right now is that the standard video conference technology will be what's called Google Meet. That will be the one and only district standard. That's our current recommendation. There's a lot of reasons for that. One of them is that it's fully integrated into our students' Google environment. So when they log in, Google Meet is waiting for them. When a teacher logs in and creates an assignment, and they can easily tag the Google Meet link, and all the rostered students are right there at their fingertips. Those are just some ease of use for our kids and teachers considerations. But Google just released very important safety upgrades within the last week. Now, prior to the last week, we were a little concerned because there were some definite gaps that probably would prevent us from moving forward. But they filled those gaps very quickly. I'm sure because districts across the nation have said, hey, we need this and that, and they did it. So the administrative controls to have a safe video conference controlled by the teacher and allow us to avoid some of the pitfalls that you've read in the news is there with Google. there's a lot more to it, but just so you know, that's where we're headed. And thus far, I'm hearing support for this. We do have Zoom users. That's the other popular one. But it is a third party. We do not have a contract with Zoom, unlike Google. So, and right now they're providing these services for free. And I think these Zoom users will, over time, be coming onto the standard that we support. We're not going to support any other application. So we're going to do that through a lot of communication, a lot of training, and we're working it out. I got to say, there's nothing in stone yet because it's truly a draft, and I have to wait until all the constituents weigh in. So that's happening this week right now.
So the Google Meet is a synchronous learning where there's a direct interaction with the principal the teacher on a real-time basis?
That's correct. A teacher that decides to use Google Meet would be involved in synchronous learning because the student would be live on the other side of the video stream as opposed to asynchronous. So I should add that when we kicked off the online learning program, we started the first couple of weeks with the asynchronous model, but we've since kind of started moving into a hybrid of asynchronous choices teachers have and synchronous choices because there is a lot of video conferencing going on right now. It's a little bit Wild West until we get our guidelines and protocols ironed out for after spring break, but there's a lot of support. We've got parents calling districts saying, hey, how come you're not opening up Google Meet? You know, this is such a great technology. So we hear that. We know that. But before we officially sanction an app that's our standard, we just got to go through some research. And I have a lot of staff doing this behind the scenes. So I think we'll be ready to do some good work and protect our teachers and our students and the district from some mistakes that could occur should we not do this.
Okay. Thank you very much. I mean, I know you guys have been working around the clock. I've been hearing from a lot of people about that. The data related to this, basically Google is a huge data machine. That's how they generally get paid. How or who owns the data? Actually, how is that data being used? Whatever metadata is being sent out there by students using this video conferencing Google Meet. Do we give them any rights related to that data, or how does that work?
Well, the nice thing about Google Meet is that it's part of the Google suite of applications for education. And under that umbrella, we've already signed a contract with them, and part of the deal is that they don't use data for advertising. They don't sell the data. They use the data to improve the services to ABC, but there's no advertising, and it's a much more protected zone for kids, and they meet the requirements for privacy and data protection. And we already have that established, and we've communicated with all of our ABC parents through what's called the Acceptable Use Policy for Technology. Parents have to sign this, and in it we outline what you're asking about the fact we use Google and that how the data is used and how it's not used, and that how Google meets the federal requirements for privacy, et cetera. So the nice thing is Google Meet, which is not online with us yet, naturally falls under the suite of tools and all the data protections that Google offers K-12 schools.
Okay, thank you. I have one question for the health services person. Regarding, I guess, first, I'm really thankful that we are providing masks and gloves to all of our food service workers, and that's really a critical thing. So I understand that testing is only for those who are symptomatic, but unfortunately, as we all know, somebody can be asymptomatic and still pass it on. the only way that can really probably guard against that is being somewhat distant from other people. I guess the issue could be that, unfortunately, those masks, unless they're medical grade, aren't 100% foolproof from what I've seen. At close range, they still can let virus out. In fact, I think there was a South Korean study that indicated that there's a lot more virus on the outside of the mask than on the inside. So I'm hoping that there's extensive training, which I'm presuming, but also that there is distance, and how are we also protecting, even in the face of masks, that there is no air that goes between the food and or actually not the food, but the plastic that would the food would be in, and the worker. Is there like another process afterwards where we clean the outside portion of the food before it goes to the student?
That's an excellent question.
Huh?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I know it sounds paranoid.
That's an excellent question. I know that we are following the guidelines given to us by the CDC and other health agencies. What happens at a specific level, I assume, is following those recommendations as well. But I couldn't speak to the exact practices that are occurring in that department.
Okay. Because they handle so much food for thousands and thousands of students, and I know that those masks aren't perfect because of the seal around them, and so I'm just wondering if we do any additional cleaning after the workers touch the food, or actually
yes.
not touch the food, touch the outside of the plastic before it hits the student's hands.
Again, I can't speak to whether they're cleaning the outside of the plastic or not. I can say that they are following the guidelines that have been passed down by the experts. And I'm not certain that is included, but quite honestly, I'm not certain.
Okay. Are we requiring them to be 6 feet apart from each other?
Yes.
Yes.
Great.
Definitely.
Thank you. Because I know these masks are not 100%. They do a great job, but it's, they're not perfectly fitted.
Right. And the protective measures are several. The distancing, the frequent hand washing. In the case of the food workers, wearing the PPEs, as well as the distancing and the masks included in those PPEs. So it's a combination of things that they do in order to protect the students that they're serving and others that they're around. And right, one method by itself is not perfect, but several methods together improve the protection of the public.
Do you think it could be something where we could ask asymptomatic people to take a test, considering the mass amount of foods that they will be serving? I mean, I consider them right next to healthcare worker in terms of the millions of people that they could affect. And
right. I don't know that we have the authority to make that type of recommendation, being that that the recommendations for testing are issued by the health experts. And at this point, they're not doing general testing. They're being selective about the people that are being tested.
Right. And that's my concern. Anyway, thank you.
You're welcome.
I know that. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. I think Board Member Yu was next, but go ahead.
Yes.
Okay, because I know that I'm still on the superintendent's report, and if there are any questions that are somewhat related to it, I know that on the action item 1.1A, which is the resolution for emergency delegating authority to take necessary action to protect students and staff from the spread of COVID-19. We can continue in that discussion about some of the things that we are doing as well. And so if there are other comments as part of the superintendent's report regarding either Dr. Spriggs' report or Patty DuPont-Tyler. Otherwise, we could wait until that latter action item.
Did you have questions or comments for Dr. Spriggs? Or?
Yes, I have a question for Dr. Spriggs. Should I wait or should I just go ahead?
You can go ahead at this point.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go ahead. Yeah. So, Dr. Spriggs, thank you very much. I am very impressed that we were able to, identify 5% of the students who did not have the internet, 5% of the students who didn't have the devices, and that in such a short period of time that we were able to hand those out to the students. That is just very impressive. During these challenging times, I know that every elementary school, middle school, high school, they all have different needs. I know that high school level, the kids have already been using the Google Classroom very efficiently for many years. And it's all good. And I appreciate the word that you use is evolving, because nothing is perfect in place, but it's evolving. And because of school, the first date that we gave out was school was going to be out from March 13th to March 27th. And then the spring break. And now the school's out until, the rest of the school year, which is going to be another 2.5 months, right? 2 months, mm-hmm. 2 months, April, May, 2.5 months. So that's a long time. And I'm just hoping, I'm glad to hear about the video conferencing, but as far as the students learning, I wonder if in the high school level and middle school level, like some subjects like math or science, where, more engaging interaction may be necessary, would in the future, near future, would our teachers be able to use something like Zoom or the video conferencing or the Google, video conferencing? I'm not sure. Yeah. And incorporate that into the teaching and have the, students a virtual classroom.
Well, I think as we move forward, we will be offering professional development in IT and academic services frequently. For example, today, I don't know if you heard this prior, I might have got cut off, but we offered what was called Tech Tuesday. We had over 200 teachers involved. And these were subjects that help push people beyond the basics, so to speak. And I know in academic services, they'll be having similar type professional development specific to subject areas to kind of help move teachers to where you're talking about. So we have plans, and we're excited to really offer a robust lineup from here all the way out, because we know that each day our teachers are only going to get better and better at this online learning business. So I think we're only getting started, frankly.
Okay, well, that's so good to hear. I'm so glad that, 200 teachers involved in PT. That's wonderful. I know that some teachers, like AP World teacher, Mr. Armstrong at Cerritos High, keep the kids very busy through the Google Classroom, assignments, every day, reading assignments. I mean, my daughter complains about so much homework from the teachers. So I know that some teachers are very, very capable of keeping the kids in place without using any video, but with the, daily assignments and checkup and everything. But I know that some subjects, the video conferencing or the Zoom would be very helpful. And then I don't know if this is a question for Dr. Spriggs, but I don't know how the attendance is taken. But, so students at some point throughout the day check in, or the parents check in, and they're, attending, how the attendance is taken.
I can tell you that we're not doing attendance in a traditional manner. Of course, ADA has been given to the district from the state for the period of closure, so we're not taking attendance for that purpose. But we are talking right now on strategies to enable teachers to track participation levels. Not the same quite as attendance, because every teacher is going to use this a little bit differently, but we do want the analytics that come out of something like an attendance mark, because we want to know how well our folks are engaging at different grade levels, for example. So we are talking about that right now, and we've got some ideas we're looking to institute pretty soon that might feel like attendance, but not your traditional attendance.
That would be so important. That would just keep the students accountable and the parents assured and the teachers, checking up every day. That would be so good. I would love to see something like that roll out. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Law, did you want to comment?
Not on this particular subject.
Okay.
I have one more question, Sophia.
Just a minute, Sophia. Let me just ask everybody to please mute their phones when they are not speaking. You can do this by pressing 4* and then unmute it when you're ready to speak. Okay, Sophia, is your question related directly to technology beyond what you already asked? Hello? Board Member Say? Okay, well, I just wanted to comment, thank you, to the department. I do want to echo some of the board members' comments about, now that we're moving to virtually connect with students, we know that our schools are the safe place for a lot of our students. So my big concern would be to ensure participation and have some kind of way that allows us to connect, even if it's just weekly with every student, and to have a system that notifies the district, should a student not be reached, say by the end of the week or by the end of a certain period. But thank you. Board Member Say, did you join us?
Yes, I know. All of a sudden just came out. At first, I really wanted to mention this. Hello?
Is your comment related to technology?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Still back to the video, the conference things. Colleen, you were saying not mandated to all teacher, or mandated to all teacher need to use a video conference?
Not mandated. It's only a teaching tool that teachers can self-select to use. And if they do select to use it, we'll have a training for them ready to go and help them understand what the protocols and guidelines are, help them with technical know-how, like how to use the actual application, as well as pedagogy issues, like how to best use video conferencing to augment your online learning class. So that's kind of what our training will look like after spring break.
Then how do you help, especially those students who have parents, especially parents? I do know some teachers just give the homework to them to do it, 2 weeks homework. And those parents who English is a second language there, how can I help them though? Because the kids doesn't even know parents don't know how to have the homework. And meanwhile, they don't communicate with teacher that daily basis. So they were behind on education part. I am concerned of the English as a second learner family.
So you're concerned about the family members getting the needed information on how to support? Is that
right? How to support the student to learn? Because if you teach the homework 2 weeks and then don't contact it. I know the cross-board, we have a really good teacher here, and I understand that. Once you go into this online, most people don't understand how many hours they're spending on it. I spend more than 8 hours on this online teaching. It's tough for our teacher. I salute it to those people. I really do. But across the board, how does the principal play a role on this technology thing? Do they meet each other all the time, like times a week, weeks a week?
That sounds like an academic accountability. Our academic department maybe Dr. Mayfield can speak to that at some point.
Mhm.
Thank you. Are you wanting me to address that at this time?
Right.
We finished our employee reports. I mean, this particular report, and then, what do you think, Dr. Sue? Will there be an opportunity later?
Absolutely. I think that we can discuss further in the action item 1.1A.
Okay, I'll hold it for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Colin. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Dr.
Sorry, we're still with you, Dr. Sue.
And also Colin's, Dr. Sprague, as well as Patty DuPont Tyler. Thank you so much for being a part of this report tonight.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Okay, so that's the superintendent's report. We're moving now to employee representative report, and I did get a message saying that our union president, Ray Gayer, has no comment at this time. Any other employee representatives? Okay, Madam Clerk, can you please read our public comments?
Okay. The following public comments have been received. Persons wishing to address the board on a specific agenda item at the time the item is under discussion are limited to 5 minutes each. Comments will be read prior to the board's discussion and taking action. Adverse remarks about a person's race, ancestry, ethnic group identification, religion, color, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, gender, mental or physical handicap, or age may not be made. Concerns presented to the board will be followed up and addressed by the appropriate staff. We have Joy Machado, who will represent the public comments.
Actually, Clerk, we are going to have Scott Smith, who's been working on collecting all of the public comments tonight.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Scott there? Madam President, are you calling Scott Smith?
Hi, yeah, I'm here. We're waiting for our public comments. I believe Scott Smith.
Scott Smith. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Going to facilitate. Do we have Scott Smith on the line?
Lord Scotcho. Hello, I am currently a senior at Gar High School, and besides the basic reasons on why we, graduating class of 2020, should have our ceremony, I would like to share my personal reasoning. I am currently enlisted in the U.S. Army Reserve, and I ship off on a specific date to my training. I plan and look forward to the many memories and nostalgic experiences that I can reminisce and treasure in my months of training without any contact from my friends or family, which would include my senior prom, grad bash, and graduation. These memories will be what drive me to become better and work past the challenges that I will face in the near future. Not only that, but I strive to make my grandparents proud. They are the ones who have raised me since my parents have been too busy, and I want them to see me walk across that stage. I want them to hear my accomplishments and see all of the years of hard work that I have put in specifically for that very moment. Dear Dr. Sue, Dr. Rios, Mr. Nishi, and members of the ABCUSD Board, I would like to submit this notice for public comment and, if possible, request that the April 7, 2020 meeting of the Board of Education also be available via online video conference such as Zoom. My name is Ronalee Passion, and I have 2 daughters. My second daughter will be graduating from Cerritos High School at the end of this academic year as part of the class of 2020. My older daughter graduated as part of the class of 2019, and I know from firsthand experience of the joy the ceremony brings to many. Although my current CHS senior already has plans to attend college in the fall, she, like many hundreds of anxious high school seniors, would like to end their academic K through 12 years with some type of in-person graduation ceremony, even if that means a postponed, unknown date. These are difficult times, and we are tasked with thinking of creative ways to help support our students during these challenging times. I am formally requesting that the board consider postponing the in-person graduation for the high schools within ABC. Many people, including myself, would consider participating in an online committee made up of interested parents, students, teachers, and community volunteers to help gather and collaborate ideas for postponed in-person high school senior graduation ceremonies. I'm sure many of these conversations are already taking place, and I feel it's best to unite and join our Cerritos community to brainstorm on these new and creative ideas. I suggest that these online committees be conducted by Zoom and by phone to adhere to current social distancing guidelines. We understand that you cannot indicate any foreseeable date or month when normal activities would resume in our district. So this committee, or committees, would be for the purpose of collaborating and brainstorming with others as to what ideas seem doable in the late summer months ahead. We owe it to our graduating high school seniors of the class of 2020. We want them to know that their concerns are being heard and supported in every possible way. Heber Racinos. I believe that ultimately graduation should be pushed back to a further date if the situation surrounding the COVID-19 gets better. There's no telling how it can change, but one can be optimistic that life will be picked back up soon. Jaime Martinez. Hello, my name is Jaime Martinez, a senior at Artesia High School. I wanted to explain to you my feelings and reasoning on why seniors of the class of 2020 should have our ceremony at a further date in the year. Class of 2020 has missed out on college dinner, college acceptance rally, commit day, senior picnic, senior awards night, prom, grad night, and banquets for clubs we are in. Since we have already missed out on so many high school memories in our last year with our friends who we may never see again, having our graduation will hopefully make up for what the virus has taken from us. I have been involved with student government, ASB, since 4th grade, and in high school I got a glimpse of what it was like your senior year and all the activities you get to celebrate. As a senior class president, I plan most of these activities. It is hard to see what I've planned most seniors will never get to see since this virus took us out of school. As a distinguished scholar student who would be graduating in gold instead of red and potentially getting that taken away from you really makes you feel that all of your hard work won't be put into show. A virtual ceremony will not be what many of the seniors want, and quite frankly, I personally wouldn't want to attend because it'd feel like a game, not a real milestone in life. I have worked so hard, not only in high school, but throughout all my education at ABC Unified School District. I just really hope you'd hear me out as a senior who has lost so much in my final year. Thank you. Abigail Herrera. The Artesia High School class of 2020 has come together to plan out a traditional graduation ceremony. AHS graduation will include all 305 students and 610 guests, 2 guests per student. We would like to invite our school board members, our superintendent, Dr. Mary Sue, and all of the Artesia teachers and administrators. We would like to have graduation at the latest between July 28th and August 5th. At our school's stadium, the ceremony will exclude band and honor guard to minimize the amount of people in one area. Handshakes will not be permitted, and anyone giving diplomas to the graduates must be wearing gloves. Speeches will be made by our valedictorian or valedictorians, and anyone else the administration would like to have speak at the ceremony. Fireworks will remain, and families will not be allowed on the field once the ceremony ends. Jade Lao Lo Lu. A high school graduation ceremony is an important milestone in a young adult's life. It is the moment students dream of at the start of their educational career. It's the moment their parents dream of. Think of all the students that will be the first to complete high school in their family this year. This was supposed to be the final day the graduating class of 2020 would be together before we all chose our own individual paths. our final goodbyes. Artesia seniors went to school on March 13, 2020, unaware that it was going to be their last day of high school. Though the attempt is appropriated, a virtual graduation just won't cut it. The ceremony should be postponed until it is safe to do one the right way. Jonathan Manzo. Hello, my name is Jonathan Manzo, and I'm a senior at Artesia High. This time is tough for all of us, but as you can understand, hearing that your graduation might get canceled makes you feel sad. I'm asking you all here not to cancel the graduation, but push back the date to mid-July, early August. We will be willing to make certain sacrifices like getting rid of grad night, Sadies, and prom, but not our graduation. We've been looking forward to graduation since we started school as an Artesia High School freshman. As a senior class, we've agreed to follow certain rules during graduation, like not allowing student and parent interaction on the field, not allowing students and administration to shake hands, and wearing gloves and/or masks during the ceremony. Please take this into consideration when you vote on the class of 2020 graduation. Kelly Jackson. Graduation is really important to the class of 20 because we've made it so far, and due to an uncontrollable circumstance, we are stripped away of our senior activities. Walking across the stage is so important to us because we've worked so hard. I know a lot of people in my class who excel, and it is unbelievable that we don't get to walk across the stage. While having some type of graduation is appreciated, having a virtual graduation is not the same as having an actual graduation with family and friends. Walking across the stage is a milestone moment that you never get back, and I want to enjoy that moment with my family, friends, and peers. My main motivation was walking across the stage, and I know many feel the same way. I hope that something can be done so the 2020 class can physically walk across the stage and enjoy such a precious moment for not just us, but for our parents and others. Garrett Ross. As a student who's been working extremely hard to get to this point of time, I, just like us seniors, deserve better because we all came a long way to be able to walk the stage at graduation. I know with the virus and everything going on makes that a whole lot harder, but we deserve better and should be able to get at least a proper graduation ceremony. Lastly, we should be able to get full high school experience because we only get one of those, and now we can't. Us seniors should get the opportunity to still do all senior activities and get a proper graduation and not a virtual one. Kayla Kim. Dear ABCUSD Board, my name is Kayla Kim, and I'm a senior from Whitney High School. I realized just now that I am able to write this comment to be read at the City Council meeting that is to be held today. I realize that the time has passed, but I am still writing this, hoping that my voice is heard. I know that with the current situation, it is unsafe to be in a crowd, but I have been earnestly praying that graduation gets postponed. I am an only child. My mom told me that she always dreamed about seeing me graduate high school. My grandparents are old and might pass away soon. My grandparents told me and my mom that they want to at least live to see my high school graduation. My grandparents are like my best friends. After hearing those words, my heart broke even more. I was already sad that I will not be experiencing this once-in-a-life opportunity and crossing that milestone in my life. But after hearing that my relatives are just as heartbroken as I am, got me sobbing. Other families may be different. They have several children to see graduate, but my parents only have me. To add on, I would like to emphasize that this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It already sucks that we are not able to spend time with our friends before going off to college. It already sucks that we cannot get yearbook signatures from our peers, underclassmen, and teachers on our senior yearbooks. It already sucks that we don't have the senior activities that every other senior class got to experience. Please just let us have our graduation at least. I know that with our current situation, it is hard to have it on time, but please postpone it. Me and all of the peers that I know are willing to come back during the summer or even once college starts, to fully have this experience milestone in our lives. I know that this has a chance of not being read, as I have not submitted it in the past. I've submitted it past the deadline, and it's quite lengthy. But I am hoping that at least one member of the council will get to read this and support our efforts in trying to have an in-person graduation. Thank you for all that you do for us. Please stay safe and healthy. Kayla Kim. Natalia Avila. I believe that the class of 2020 deserves to have a traditional graduation they deserve. They have worked incredibly hard for this moment. A virtual graduation won't cut it. This is not what we have waited for. We deserve the actual recognition we deserve. Natalia Avila. I believe that the class of 2020 deserves to have a traditional graduation they deserve. They have worked incredibly hard for this moment. A virtual graduation won't cut it. This is not what we have waited for. We deserve the actual recognition we deserve. Cameron Thompson. I've been looking forward to graduation for as long as I can remember. In our country, graduation means a lot to people because it shows that you have finally made it out and can start your real life. This time is supposed to be happy and exciting since I'm a senior this year. I think I can speak for my whole grade at Artesia when I say that an in-person graduation, even if it is later in the summer, would be our number one option. If things don't change with COVID-19 and we have to have a virtual graduation, I'm sure everyone would understand. However, an in-person graduation would be our first goal. An in-person graduation means a lot to me because I've worked hard and to have perfect grades for 4 years. I have all A's and a 4.3. So if I don't get recognition in front of all the people I've gone to school with, it's like my work meant nothing. Dulce Sarmiento. As a senior, I think it is fair for me to want a physical ceremony for my graduation, as I have been waiting for this moment for a long time. It might not be under the perfect circumstances, but I think that if we all come together, we can come up with a safe way to have our graduation ceremony in which we get to properly say goodbye to high school and welcome our new lives as college students. I know that given tough times that we are in, it is impossible to have a completely normal graduation, but I would like to ask you to try your best to give us our special moment. Sean M. No virtual graduation. Our kids have worked too hard for too long to receive a diploma via email. Let them walk. Kari Orr. Hello, my name is Kari Orr, and I am a senior at Cerritos High School. I know that as of right now, virtual graduation is the option everyone is thinking of, and is about to be the only one possible. Although we as a class of 2020 understand this, there is so much time now until June, July, or even August. The class of 2020 has worked their butts off for 4 years and deserve more than just a virtual graduation. Yes, it is sad that we are missing out on our whole second semester of our school year, of our senior year. Sad, but we have come to terms with it. What we need, though, is closure, the opportunity to say goodbye to fellow classmates and friends that have made the school year the best. We need to be able to see our teachers one last time and to be able to walk across a stage for our families to see. Please, we beg you, don't rush a decision and don't just choose to have a virtual graduation. We as a class are willing to wait for this to blow over to get something better than what is being presented right now. Even if it isn't the graduation of our dreams, in person will be better than virtual at all times. So we should wait it out before it is decided that it will be virtual. Thank you for your time. Kaja Baltazar. I am a senior at Artesia High School. I would like to address the fact that we won't be able to have a graduation ceremony. I understand that you guys are working on a virtual way to give us one, but it's not the same, or will it feel the same? We worked really hard to get where we are just to have something so special to us taken away, and that's not fair to us seniors. Jasmine Patterson. While it is understood that the board is accommodating as best they can and that this is a very difficult time for everyone involved, a virtual graduation would not be a good alternative. Not to sound ungrateful, but it's almost a slap to the face to have worked so hard to be an honors student only to participate in the ceremony from a computer screen. If possible, and of course, absolutely if possible, a postponed and modified in-person graduation ceremony would be greatly preferred as a way to honor the achievements and accomplishments of the 2020 senior class while remaining sure to minimize the spread of the virus and keeping graduates in attendance, if any, safe and healthy. Gareth Bobby Ferguson. It is really unfair for the students of ABCUSD that they should have their graduation canceled because of a situation out of their control. And virtual graduation simply won't cut it. Change the graduation to the middle of summer when the virus has died down. Claudia Herrera. I'm writing in behalf of my daughter and all the seniors at Artesia High School. We would like the school board to consider an in-person graduation, maybe a drive-in style ceremony that would require everyone to stay in the car and only the graduates get out one at a time when their name is called. I know times are difficult, and I know ABC is doing their best to assure all seniors have a memorable ceremony. Jacqueline Alexia Cornejo. Hello, I am Jacqueline Cornejo, a senior at Artesia High School, and I wanted to make a comment regarding how special a physical graduation would be, not just for me, but the whole class. I came to Artesia on a formal interdistrict transfer agreement. I was supposed to attend a high school in Long Beach, but I saw how little the schools in Long Beach cared for their ethnic students and how biased the majority of their staff were. I decided it was best to attend a school that I've seen cared for their students, no matter their race or background. And in this current situation, it breaks my heart because a virtual graduation is practically nothing. It does not show all the hard work, countless mental breakdowns, and times we as a class have felt like we wanted to give up. But the idea of our prom and graduation and grad rash was enough to keep us working hard because we were almost to the end. Now, hearing that we might receive a virtual graduation seems ridiculous, although we understand the type of circumstances we are under. But we, as the class of 2020, did not undergo so much work and pressure to perform the best we can just to receive a digital ceremony. Many of us, this will be the last time they have a graduation due to personal circumstances. Others may not even live to see one. Some are the first to graduate in their family, and this is what they are given. It breaks us down, makes us feel once again ignored and not given the recognition we deserve. I ask, even though we are under a rough patch that seems like we will not receive a traditional graduation, that people with power and knowledge try their best to at least give us one last special moment that we have worked so hard for. Thank you for your time. Kayla Harris. The obvious issue is that we as students want what we deserve. Many of us, if not all, have dreamt of this moment since entering high school, if not way before that. I want to properly say goodbye to the place I spent 4 years at and properly say goodbye to my teachers and friends. And no, it's not under the perfect circumstances. However, we as students know that there's a solution and a way to get a physical graduation. If we didn't, we wouldn't have pushed so hard for it. Imagine staying up day and night to complete countless amounts of homework and projects, dragging yourself to school every morning, staying late after school to get help for classes that aren't as easy, or to help another person. You do it because you know that at the end of those 4 years, you'll proudly walk across the stage that you've always wanted to walk across, only for an unprecedented event to snatch that away from underneath you in the blink of an eye. A physical graduation is possible under these circumstances and the best option for us students because we worked hard for this and we deserve it. Sitting in front of a computer for a virtual graduation takes away the experience for many of us. It doesn't leave us with a proper goodbye of our school or friends. A physical graduation will at least let us say goodbye. Walking across the stage is the moment of high school where you realize that you're finally done and moving on to the next chapter of school. A virtual graduation sends us to the next chapter of our life very abruptly and without giving us the recognition for all of our hard work. A physical graduation is possible. The district just has to work with us and stay open-minded. Tony Wong. I would like to know when students will be allowed back on campus to get their belongings from their lockers and turn in their books. Will paper diplomas be mailed to students? Omar Bell Gonzalez. As a student who grew up in the ABC Unified School District, I believe that ABC should do everything in its power to ensure the class of 2020 has a safe and physical graduation. From a young child, I dreamed of the day of walking the stage and wearing a cap and gown beside my classmates. I've worked hard throughout my school career and deserve to be rewarded with a proper graduation to showcase all of my peers and my success. Here are a few examples of why I feel it is a priority to celebrate the accomplishments of the class of 2020. To start off, in 6th grade, I won the spelling bee at Aloha Health Medical Academy and continued to represent my school at the ABC District Competition. Furthermore, in the 8th grade, my teammates, Aylin Borja Silas, Darla Ortiz, and Angela Lopez, who are all seniors in the ABCUSD, competed in the National History Competition. We represented Fetty Middle School and won the LA County competition, went on to Sacramento for the state championships, and we won again. We continued on to represent California in nationals held in Washington, D.C. We worked tirelessly and devoted months of our time on this competition to overall represent our ABCUSD school district. Therefore, graduation is a vital moment in our lives, and we deserve to be rewarded for all of our hard work and dedication over these past 12 years of our life. Thank you for understanding, and please make it your top priority of ensuring the class of 2020 is celebrated with a proper graduation. Brandon Azato. Hello, everyone. I would like a physical graduation to happen because this is a huge stepping stone for my career. I've worked extremely hard, not only in my academics, but in life and extracurricular activities as well. I'm on the varsity baseball team and have been for all 4 years now. I would like to get noticed and be awarded for that and for being in Distinguished Scholars. I earned my gold gown, and I've worked so hard for it and all the other awards I received. Please make this physical graduation happen. This would be my first huge accomplishment in life, and to move on to college. Please take this into consideration. Thank you. Corrine Garcia. Hi, I am Corrine Garcia, and I am a senior from high school. I'm speaking on behalf of the class of 2020 that we would rather postpone graduation to have an in-person celebration. We do not want to graduate online because it's not really meaningful, and if all of us were to do it, there may be a lot of poor connection. We definitely want to be with our classmates and celebrate together in person. We will do this in a safe manner, and we'll do anything to be together, making all of us wear face masks, keeping 6 feet away from each other if necessary. We feel that having an online ceremony will be so sad. Right now, my Wi-Fi has been horrible ever since the coronavirus has happened, and imagining a ceremony online with everyone will make my Wi-Fi even worse. We want to be able to experience the moment in person. If summer doesn't work out, we are still motivated to have one later on in the future. We already bought our caps and gowns, and giving a full refund to the students is such a hassle. So let's make a day where we can wear it all together in person. I believe if we as a community are still together in markets and food places, we can still be together to celebrate a graduation in person. We are willing to follow all the restrictions that come with it. This is such a tough time for us, especially since everything was taken away from us. Now, imagining that we wouldn't even have a traditional graduation is even more heartbreaking. Jamesha Bell. Greetings. My name is Mrs. Jamesha Bell, and I'm the parent of Omar Bell Gonzalez, a senior at Artesia High School. I'm addressing the board today regarding the graduation ceremony for the class of 2020. As I completely understand and support the decision for not having a graduation ceremony in June, as scheduled prior to the pandemic, I oppose the decision of a virtual graduation. These students have worked hard to make it to this point and deserve to be celebrated and acknowledged publicly. This virus pandemic has taken so much from us as a community. Let's not allow it to continue to take over our students' lives. It has already taken so much from them. It is my suggestion that the students be allowed to have a formal graduation this summer, fall, or even in the winter of 2020, when the government releases us back to the state of normalcy. Thank you for your time. Mana Subramani. Will opening early 2020-2021 school year be considered? This would help kids catch up the missing learning of current grade and move on to the next grade. We hope current closure of schools to be announced early summer break, as in other school districts. Normally, school starts earlier compared to ABC School District. Also, the possibility of keeping the current grade teacher wherever applicable as the pandemic situation didn't give time to have a proper handshake between the children and teacher and parents. Rigo Gutierrez. District Board members, I am writing this email to express my hope in that the graduating class of 2020 will have some type of ceremony to close out their high school years. I am a parent of one of these seniors. They've worked hard over the years and deserve this. These are unprecedented times that require unprecedented measures. I think they should have some type of ceremony, even if it's later in the school year and the number of attendees is limited. I believe this is something that should happen. I hope the district leadership makes the right choice here, keeping the students in mind. Thanks. Vanita Jain. On behalf of sixth grade parents, current Whitney High School admission priority is based on the following board policy considerations. 1, CASP, SBAC score, accounts for 70% weight. 2, writing test is 30%. Since SBAC score carries significantly higher weight than the writing test and SBAC test has been canceled, what are the plans to replace SBAC test score criteria in admission policy?
Hello, my name is Aima Hussein, and I'm a senior at Cerritos High School. I understand the situation that is occurring right now, and I understand that it's we can only have an in-person graduation if it becomes safe to gather again, but we're still hopeful that it's possible. I believe that we should have an in-person graduation later in the summer rather than having an online graduation in June, because it's more personal for all the seniors who've worked hard for the past 4 years, and I don't think it'll be as personal and fulfilling for us to have a virtual graduation. It'll just be disappointing. So I really hope that you guys would make it possible for us to just postpone the graduation for the class of 2020. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alina Ahmed, and I am a senior at Cerritos High School. I'm calling because I'm remaining hopeful to experience one of the most important memories that I will have during my lifetime. I understand it isn't safe right now and the conditions aren't right, but please try to consider postponing our graduation ceremony for the senior class. We have worked so hard, and this moment of walking for graduation is being stripped from us. This is a moment that we will hold on to forever. Please, I ask, when it is safe, consider postponing our graduation in order for us to have an in-person ceremony, even if it means going into summer. This means so much to us, and having it taken away is super saddening. If there's also any way our senior activities can be postponed, please consider that as well. Our prom, grad bash, candle rose, last day of high school, and possibly even graduation are being taken from us. Please, please let us make our lifetime memories when the time is right.
Hello, my name is Jana Patel, and I'm a senior at Cerritos High School. I want to start off with, I really do understand that you guys are trying to have an in-person graduation, and I really do appreciate that, especially through this really tough time. But I would want a graduation in person just because of the experience, and my senior year was taken away from me, like almost all of second semester. So I would really appreciate if you guys really thought about it, because if you really think about it, I'm pretty sure everyone at the Board of Education meeting did graduate and remember their high school graduation as such a fun memory, and it's just a new chapter in life. So I would want the same thing. And I would want to look back at my memory of, I didn't have prom, I didn't have grad bash, I didn't have this white ceremony. I didn't have a lot. So I think one thing I would really want is the graduation, just to see my friends one last time, my classmates. There's many people that only talk to certain people in class because so I would really want that for myself and other seniors, because I know majority of the seniors do want this. And I'd really hope for you guys to try your best to get to the graduation in person than virtual, because virtual it won't feel as exciting, only because not all my family members will be there. And I would really want my grandparents to see my new chapter in life of getting out of high school, because they've seen me grow up. So yeah. And I do understand that we would meet up after it gets safer to gather again. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tristan and I'm a senior at Cerritos High School. And I was hoping you guys could really consider maybe still having some of these senior activities. This is a big thing for us. We've all seen previous years who have gone able to experience these things, especially graduation. A big step, at least for me, and family-wise. I really hope you guys can reconsider having an actual graduation and letting us seniors walk across the stage, because to some of us it's really meaningful. And if we're just gonna do it virtually, all that hard work we put in, all that stuff that we did really goes to nothing. Not to nothing, but we don't get the feeling to walk across and have all those people hear our name and see us just walk, and all the hard work that we've put through, that we've been through basically. So I was hoping if you guys could please reconsider, maybe you guys could reconsider other senior activities like grad bash or candle rolls. Please reconsider all these things, because it's meaningful to a lot of us, and I don't think it's fair that with the circumstances that are going on, I don't think it's fair that some people in the peer research are gonna get to experience it, and people after us are gonna be able to experience it, but we will not. So please try to figure out something. I know it's very hard. We're trying to also be safe, but please, maybe we can come to a certain agreement or an understanding of postponing it or something. But please consider it. Thank you.
Due to technical difficulties, some of the voicemail calls for public comment were cut short. We apologize for this inconvenience.
Hello, my name is Daisy Martinez, and I'm a senior at Cerritos High School. To start off with the obvious, I understand that an in-person graduation will only happen once it is safe for everyone to meet due to the coronavirus, but that does not mean that I'm going to give up on my senior graduation. Every year, my family and I have gone all out for all of my cousins' graduation, and not just thinking that might not even happen to me and my other cousins, it brings me down, especially since I have worked for this. All of my peers and I, we have worked so hard for these past 4 years for a graduation, to be able to say goodbye to each other one last time, to take pictures, to admire the fireworks after the name calling. It's just to think that from the beginning of senior year, when you first see your friends, you're so hyped, so excited, and you can't wait for graduation and what to come and all the senior festivities and activities, just for one thing, for a pandemic, this coronavirus, to ruin it. And it brings me to it's just really crazy, and it's crazy to think about that in less than a month, something can ruin what you've been waiting for the past, all your life. what everyone has been waiting for. And I understand that it's just a high school graduation and not a college graduation, but many of the seniors may not even go to college because, one, they don't believe in that, two, they don't have enough money. And for them to have a ceremony that does not have, for them to have a ceremony that they might not even have a college graduation, a high school graduation was all they had left to take with them, to keep in their memories. And it doesn't feel right for something to take that away from us. And we have been working. We have been waiting for this day. I remember the first day of school, all my senior friends and I, we were gathered around the senior quad, and we were just talking about our plans after high school, what we were going to do the day of graduation, and we were all going to go out. But we can't meet each other on graduation if we can't even have one, you know? And we have already had prom taken away from us. We have had senior ditch day.
Calvin Thomas. My name is Calvin Thomas. I'm calling. I have a daughter who's graduating from Gar High School this year. She received a survey that requested a response regarding graduation occurring in July. I, as her parents, her mom and I, and the rest of her family are all on board with that. And in addition, I wanted to at least propose that the board think about allowing the seniors to have prom probably in early July if possible, late June. It's something the kids have looked forward to for a long time. My daughter has never participated in a prom, and she was hoping to participate in this year's prom. So not only are we asking for you guys to consider the graduation, of course, as you already are, but to also consider having a prom, if not a week before, 2 weeks before. We would really appreciate that, and I'm sure the kids would too. I'm only speaking on behalf of mine, but a lot of her friends that are in the ABC Unified School District have also expressed concern and would love the opportunity to participate in their first prom. So hopefully this item makes it onto your agenda. Hopefully it is one of them and something that you guys consider, and hopefully you will pass it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Marla Castro, and I am a senior at Cerritos High School. I understand that we will have to postpone the graduation, but I believe that we deserve to have a walk, and we are willing to wait for this walk again. If it's okay to have it postponed and to have a in-person graduation when it becomes safer to gather again, so we can have a fair senior. It is sad to have it taken away for the last minute and so sudden, and I believe we deserve to have at least a walk for just us to celebrate our last year of high school. It is important because I've been looking forward to this year, and this is one of the memories I wanted to make all my life, and it's a really it's an achievement for all the senior classes of 2020, and I believe we deserve to have a really celebration for this. Many people have been looking forward, making plans, doing all the things they've been looking forward for this year, and I believe that it would be fair to have a walk postponed instead of having a virtual graduation diploma. And this is also important because it is also it's just fair for all the students in Cerritos High School, for the students who have dreamed of this day to come and looked forward to it. And it means a lot because it's like a really personal achievement for each individual student of Cerritos High School to have this walk and have this moment like other students may have every year for their senior graduation. And yeah, thank you.
Board, President Rios, Vice President Mendoza, and Dr. Su. My name is Joe Cabrera Zermeño, a resident of the city of Hawaiian Gardens, and a BB Citizens Oversight Committee member. This is for public comments. I would like to first state that I recently got a letter from the current chairman, Simon Ethan Yao, and I'd like to read to you what he sent to all of us on the Oversight Committee. It says, currently, with no definitive end date available for the shelter-in-place mandate, I seek counsel for how the COC should proceed during this time of uncertainty. Proposition 39 and our committee COC bylaws do not stipulate a specific meeting interval requirement, but I want to gauge the need, the interest, and feasibility of meeting remotely via teleconferencing software such as Zoom. Well, to let the board know and the residents that the Citizens Oversight Committee represent, which is the entire ABC Unified School District, its taxpayers, property owners, and registered voters, both pro and con, that I don't get it. What doesn't Mr. Yao understand about what's going on here? There's no need for us to meet in any way, shape, or form until school gets back into session. I don't get it. We recently went to the very first visits organized by our team to go to a school in Cerritos, an elementary school, and we saw and had a great presentation by the principal to see the security system that was up, the 13 cameras that were allocated to that school. And then we took a little walk to see the great gym equipment, jungle gym, and it was great. It was wonderful. We had Mark Bowman. We had myself, the chairman, Simon, Bill Zylstra showed up. And also Scott Smith, and of course, our lead from the ABC board that's involved with construction. But then we had a subsequent visit, and then we went over to Palms Elementary and met with the principal, Julie. And I was astonished that the chairman, Simon Ethan Yao, didn't follow through, didn't come. Well, Palms is in Dr. Rios's Lakewood district, and it just proved to me that there are several community members, parents, whose only reason to be on that oversight committee of $63 million is for their own personal edification and that of their children. I was dismayed when the chairman, Simon, the chairman, negated on visiting Palms. He lives in Cerritos, where we were first. That was important for him. But when it came down to our Lakewood students, it didn't matter. He didn't show up. Everyone else did. Well, not everyone. Two other members did not come due to scheduling. Hannah didn't show up, and Shin didn't show up. But Shin has already proven himself that he believes that any languages that should be out to the public, as far as our communication to the public from the committee, should only be in English. He showed his true colors there. And then during our last meeting, when I was making corrections to the minutes, because the minute, as board, you know, is official, legal paperwork. I didn't want the documents that came from our Citizens Oversight Committee to be looked at like we're a bunch of ignoramuses. So I went through, as you should be doing, and made clerical and statements relative to the minutes. Well, again, Simon says, nah, why am I here? Why are we even discussing this? Again, floored me. The reason that we do this is because they're official documents. So I would like it clarified that there's no need for us to meet yet. No need. There's nothing that's remotely on fire. So again, thank you. I had more to speak about, but in this situation, I want you all to stay in place. And I'm very concerned about the City of Hawaiian Gardens proposing a meeting at having our students meet in this time of social distancing. They're going to organize the tennis courts that aren't used are going to organize the tennis courts so they can bring in students and they can do their homework on Wi-Fi. WTF. And who's doing this? Hiram Matavia. So that has to be put a stop to. Please tell our students, do not go to the City Hall to use Wi-Fi. It floors me. Thank you.
Chair Chahan.
Good evening, Board President Rios, Superintendent Sue, board members. Thank you for having this meeting and demonstrating good social behavior. Pandemics are not new. They have existed before and will happen again. It is something that we have talked about but never really planned for. We have foolishly believed that national government could take care of us all, but that is not the case. We, as a culture, have become accustomed to the magic of medicine. We believe that no matter what ails us, there is a pill or an injection that can fix us. We as a collective have never truly practiced social distancing, even when we knew that was good for other people. Think about the people that may still be alive from common flu if we didn't go to work, school, or the ballpark. But that is water under the bridge. What is, is. I am more interested in the future. As we transition out of this coronavirus crisis, how will we reopen our schools? Please don't wait for the governor, state superintendent, or any other official to make decisions for you. Life has to return to normal. Under what circumstances or conditions will the schools reopen? Dr. Fauci has already stated that life may not return to pre-coronavirus conditions. I believe him. I, for one, am not daunted by the past. We have to create a new normal. If we take it for granted that 6 feet social distancing works, then we should have 9 square feet around each one of us. Assume in a club-free classroom of 1,000 square feet, you can reasonably accommodate 10 people, 1 teacher, 9 students. We can have a rotating day schedule for students to be in the classroom from 8 to 12. After 12, the school will be closed and cleaned for the next day. Some staff and many students will not return. It is a safe place to go. Can anyone show me placing 30 students in a classroom idea at this time and for the near future? I would be reluctant to send my child to school until there was a proven, verifiable, tested vaccine. A good priority for now would be to reevaluate the expenditures in prosecution funds. There are myriad of logistical issues to be addressed, but I think they can be solved. You should have a study session on how to open schools in August. As the elected leaders in this district, you have some tough calls to make. You must demonstrate to the parents and staff that our facilities are clean and safe for all. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Allison Sang, and I'm a senior at Cerritos High School. In addition to being a senior, I also currently serve as the school's ASB president and participate in the ABCUSD Legislative Policy Committee as a student representative. I understand that we cannot currently have an in-person graduation when it's unsafe, but a lot of the seniors and I are holding on to the hope that we will be able to have one later in the summer rather than hosting it virtually through a platform such as Zoom. We've already had numerous banquets, senior sports seasons, the Premio de Oro ceremony, the senior award ceremony, prom, candle rose, and our last day of school canceled, so graduation is all that we have. It's not that we're missing out on the act of attending graduation, but we're losing the opportunity to make memories at our graduation. Some of us have been going to school together for 4 years, 6 years, and maybe even 13. Yet we won't be able to say our final goodbyes to each other on the Cerritos High campus. On March 13th, we were abruptly told that school would be shutting down during 6th period. On April 2nd, we were told that the last Friday we were at school would be our last day of high school ever. Nobody saw this coming, and we were all completely blindsided, so we understand that certain measures have to be taken. However, please consider the possibility of an in-person graduation held later in the summer, or maybe even when students return from college for winter break in December. Whatever it takes to allow us to say our final goodbyes in person rather than through a screen. Thank you.
My name is Joe Cabrera Zermeño, resident of the city of Hawaiian Gardens and member of Measure B Citizens Oversight Committee. The city of Hawaiian Gardens recently posted on their webpage the following: hotspot, quote unquote, location at C. Robert Lee Activity Center for local youth. The city plans to host a supervised hotspot location at the C. Robert Lee Activity Center so that resident youth can do schoolwork. With social distancing measures in place, the city will use the tennis court area to set up tables and chairs so youth can use their school-issued Chromebooks to work on assignments. The pilot program will be offered March 31st, 2020 to April 2nd, 2020, and possibly April 13, 2020 to April 30th, 2020, Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Did you hear what was just posted at the city of Hawaiian Gardens? And this edict had to have come from Myra Maravilla, but she's the one who runs the show. La Bruja runs everything. Directed to the city manager. They're putting our kids in danger. This is in English. Maybe If it were in Spanish, maybe they'd understand it. Social distancing. They now know that the virus can be spread just from speaking. And as you people know how I project when speaking, it's going to go everywhere. Your droplets, your air. And now we're hearing that they're asking us to put face coverings on our face. Not the N45, N24 masks, not the surgical ones that should be left up, PPE for the professionals, but at least to cover your face. The city of Hawaiian Gardens is putting our children in danger. They're about to infect them all with coronavirus. We must assume that each individual, each one of us, has the virus. Therefore, we can spread it to someone else. And it's reciprocal. We have to assume that they have the virus and they can infect us. So even though for us, just putting a face covering and covering your eyes, God willing, with goggles, that there is no air coming through, it's simply prophylactic. Maybe it's just so we can feel like we're protected, but we're not. This is a deadly virus. It knows no age. Babies, youth, teens, teenagers, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80, 70, 90-year-old people are going to get it if they're infected. And this city council at the City of Hawaiian Gardens are putting our ABC Unified School District children, teasing them in. You can come do your homework. Oh, we're going to put you out here. Oh, and on the table. Do you think our kids are going to stop? We have to think for them. They're young, sweet, innocent. Do you think they're going to not go over and speak to someone and touch and this and that? I'm asking our board to legally do something. The City of Hawaiian Gardens is about to kill our kids. And if not kill our kids, they're going to bring that virus home to the parents and bring it home to the grandparents and the grandmothers, who, by the way, are our strongest registered voters in the City of Hawaiian Gardens. Is this pre-planned? I don't deal in conjecture. I don't deal in conspiracy theory. They're inviting the children like Pied Pipers, like the Pied Piper, to come and bring home the virus. The virus comes down, think gravity, and it falls down. And now we're hearing even more. On paper, it lasts 4 to 5 days, things that you get from Amazon and the post office. On a slick surface, 4 hours. And again, no one knows, but the numbers have gone up each and every day. So please, protect the children of Hawaiian Gardens. I don't know, maybe there are children from Lakewood that would come to use that service because Lakewood doesn't offer that because they're not ignorant. Please, protect our kids. I don't know what you can do to force them to stop that. Don't put our children in danger. Stay home, stay safe, board, and everyone, and thank you. Right now, we need specific direction from this board to stop this effort by the City of Hawaiian Gardens and La Bruja Mayra Maravilla. Has to stop. Thank you.
This is Danielle. There are no more public comments.
Thank you, Danielle. Okay, at this time, may I have a motion to approve the consent calendar? Please note, okay, I'm looking at a previous one, sorry. Okay, due to a public comment on item 2.2-C, this item will be pulled and considered at a future board meeting. Is there anyone who wishes to remove an item to be considered separately? Actually, sorry, do I first need a motion? I believe so. Hello, Dr. Sue? Okay, may I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So approved.
Second? Board members, I need a second.
Apodaca, second.
Okay, thank you. So again, due to a public comment on item 2.2-C, this item will be pulled and considered at a future board meeting. Anyone else wish to remove is there anyone who wishes to remove any item to be considered separately? Okay, if none, all those in favor say aye. Actually, no, we're not going to do all those in favor. Roll call, please.
Madam President, point of order. I was muting on my phone, but it appears that every one of us was muted. You have to hit 4 and then the star. It must have been automatic, but I had to hit 4 and star again in order to actually be heard. So.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Chris is right. Yeah. Everybody have to put 4 and star to be unmuted.
Okay, at this time, let's do a roll call, Danielle, and then that'll take care of the board members that are still muted.
Mr. Apodaca?
Yes.
Mr. La?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza? Mrs. Mendoza? Mr. Nishi?
Yes, start. Okay, there we go.
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Nishi?
Ernie, push 4 star.
Okay. Yes?
Thank you.
Can you
Dr. Rios?
Yes.
Mrs. Say?
Sophie, push 4 star.
I did. Yes.
There you are.
Good. We have
Mrs.
you. Yes.
The motion to approve the consent calendar minus 2.22-C passes 7-0.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we'll move on to action items. Item 1.1-A, Resolution 1987, Emergency Resolution, delegating authority to take necessary action to protect students and staff from the spread of coronavirus. May I have a motion to adopt Emergency Resolution 19-87, delegating authority to take necessary action to protect students and staff from the spread of coronavirus?
Law.
So moved, Mendoza.
Second.
Discussion?
Yes, this is Ernie.
Okay.
I'd like to have an amendment I, that the superintendent would provide notice as soon as practical of the actions taken in relation to the resolution. This is because we can delegate all of our authority, but we don't actually delegate our responsibility, so it would be nice to know. And also I'd like, hopefully, that in relation to the graduations that we can, because that would be encompassed within this particular resolution, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. If that decision could be delayed until May, after we have this surge of cases, maybe we have a more accurate view of what's going to occur.
Okay, we have an amendment on the floor. Does someone want a second?
Apodaca, second.
Okay, roll call, Danielle?
I'm sorry, before
call on Dr. Sue first.
Thank you. Before we go on, I just wanted to make sure that everyone is aware that this resolution was developed by our law firm, Atkinson Anderson, Lawyer Wilma and Rudd. And the reason is because I really appreciated on March the 13th of giving the authority to close or dismiss our schools. We just don't know how long this is going to take place, and he highly recommended, Jim Bach, our legal counsel, highly recommended that we also place this emergency resolution. I do like the amendments as part of it, but just to also, I do want to have both Tuan talk a little bit about the things that we're doing in nutrition services as well as Valencia, because I did recall that when we had my superintendent's report, there were a lot of questions that were asked from our board as well as in regards to some of the things that we were doing in certain areas, and certain people could not answer them. And so can I just, before we go on to the actual action item and the vote for it, can I just have Tuan just speak a little bit about the attendance piece as well as things that we're doing in nutrition services, and then Valencia as well?
That would be good. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good evening. This is Tuan Nguyen. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. So thank you, Dr. Sue. So I want to address the questions with regard to attendance. And if I'm not mistaken, the question was the attendance for teachers or staff, not attendance for students. So I want to answer that. So our teachers are working remotely. If they have an issue with attendance, like if they need to call sick, if they don't feel well, we trust that they will do that. Otherwise, they will work from home like everyone else. So we do keep track of that. They will need to notify us. They know that they need to notify us when they are not at work. Right now, they're working remotely for some reason. They're not able to do that. They will notify us. So that is my answer to the question with regard to attendance.
I'm sorry, Tuan, can you also refer to the attendance of the students as well?
Yes, I will do that, Mary. Thank you, Dr. Sue. So with regard to attendance to the students, directions from the state of California and also LACO is that attendance for the purpose of funding have ended for the current year at the end of February. So for this school year, for attendance and funding purposes, the attendance have been done. It was done by the end of February, and nothing after that. After that, the day that school start was either dismissed or closure, the recommendation or the direction from the county is that we mark with a code, either C, closure, or any other, or something like some similar, throughout for all students for the rest of the school year. So from March 16, or the first day that we went on the school dismissal, to the end of the school year, which is June 10th, all students will be marked from a state perspective with a code C. Now, whether teachers would take attendance or take down if the student is participating in online learning, that is up to the individual teachers. I hope I answered that question.
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Thank you. So let's move on to the food services department and what we do to protect not just our employees but also our students. We strictly follow the directives and guidelines from CDC as well as the county public health, Department of Public Health. The facility, the central kitchen, is being inspected annually for safety. All of our employees annually have to be certified, a safe certification, so they know all the rules with regard to dealing with food and the safety relating to that. They are very mindful of washing their hands regularly. They wear gloves, and until this week, they start wearing masks. They have been practicing social distancing everyone is 6 feet apart when they put the meals together. So the meals bags are being put together in the central kitchen. We providing meal bags for Monday that would have meals for Monday and Tuesday, and then on Wednesday again for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Again, all the nutrition services staff follow the Serve Safe and all the safety requirements with regard to handling the food. The question about testing our nutrition services workers, to my knowledge, there's not one school district in the state of California or nationwide require any testing of our nutrition services employees. We have no way of carrying that out. Even if we were to refer them to the Department of Public Health, they will send them back. They don't meet the criteria. And the bags that we serve would be delivered to the schools, to the site, and as the parents drive up, they just pop the trunk, and we put the meal bag in the trunk, or we just hand it to them with minimal contact, and at all times, everyone is keeping a 6 feet distance from one another. So that is where we are. In terms of making sure that the package are safe, I have to say that our package in the bag is safer than anything you could order from any restaurants out there, for delivery at home. So, and to that point, I don't know any restaurants that providing takeout test any of their employees unless they have symptoms. Again, we follow, as Nurse Patty has said, we follow the CDC guidelines. We remind them if they have any symptoms, they should stay home. So everyone, the workers there are so mindful of that, and they are so dedicated, and they follow all the guidelines that's set out for them. So I feel confident that the food that we provide to our students are as safe as anything out there.
Thank you very much, Kalan. Let me go on to Valencia next.
Good evening, Dr. Rios and members of the board. Are you able to hear me?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you. I would like to begin my response by just putting a little context to where we are. Today is day, and schools have been closed in ABC. And when we look back over our first week of closure, by that Friday, our goal was to issue as many devices and hotspots to students who expressed or indicated a need for those devices, as well as to hand out instructional packages for families who would start their home learning using those instructional packages. We think that when we look over the scope of these 17 days, we kind of view it as a phase-in process. So phase one was to get the resources out to our families as soon as possible so that we could then begin to engage in our online learning platform. As you heard Colin speak or Dr. Spriggs speak earlier, accompanying that timeline was also professional learning for our teachers, as well as the professional learning that we're now making available for our parents online as well. Since then, we've also developed some guidance for our teachers, and we've also provided those same guidance for our parents. They are available on our district website. They are available in English, Spanish, Mandarin, and Korean. And so our families can go there and get a better understanding of what schools should look like while their children are engaged in our online learning at home. Included in those guidance is information regarding classwork, the amount of work that we are recommending for students based on their grade span. So at the elementary grade level, we're expecting no more than 12 hours of instructional assignments a week, as well as for our high school students. 12 hours instructional hours a week was for our middle school age students, and 18 hours of instructional assignments a week is for our seniors. And then for our little ones, we have about 3 hours of instructional assignments daily. Both elementary and secondary, we're recommending a block schedule format, meaning that students will engage in a portion of their subject matters every other day. So an example of that would be for secondary students, they would have their even and odd courses, their even courses on Mondays and Wednesdays. So that means their second, fourth, sixth period classes on Mondays and Wednesdays, and their odd courses on Thursdays and Tuesdays, with Fridays being a day for making up assignments. Similarly, for our elementary students, they would engage in subject matters on a similar block schedule. For example, on Monday and Wednesday will be their time for language arts and ELD, math, reading, and PE, with Tuesdays and Thursdays being focused on history, science, and some more math, because we want students engaged in math every day, and Friday being their makeup time. We are also suggesting to teachers to allow students to turn in their assignments on Sunday evenings, which then allows students all Friday as well as the weekend if needed to complete their assignments. Included in these guidance are recommendations that we will be very flexible with students when it comes to late work. Homework is not expected during this time period. Teachers should office hours and be accessible and available to respond to parents and students during those office hours. We have also provided instruction on grading, and there will be additional information coming out to our teachers and families following spring break regarding our grading for report card purposes. Also included in the guidance are recommendations for supports for students who are English learners as well as our students with special needs. We also encourage our families to take advantage of our school meals program with assuring that there is no instruction taking place during that hour and a half. And we provide some suggestions on how parents can create a supportive environment for students at home. We provide each grade span a sample schedule to help parents have some kind of idea of how to schedule their child's day and some recommended times for how much time they should be spending in each of those blocks of instructional time, as well as ensuring that there's time for physical education, for snacks, for what we call a brain or mental break, for kids to just be kids. And so we're hoping that these guidance, which we're asked teachers to put into effect as of April the 6th, we're hoping that these guidance will help not only support our teachers, but really to help our families and our students to feel a sense of normalcy in an online platform with structures and systems that they are familiar with to help facilitate learning from home.
Thank you very much, both Valencia and Tuan, for giving the additional information in regards to what this emergency resolution is about. It's not just giving me the authority to close and to reopen schools, but it's really about protecting our students and our staff during this emergency crisis. I do want to ask Board Member Nishii if you can just repeat what your exact amendment will be on I.
Okay. Simple. That the superintendent provide notice as soon as practicable of the actions in relation to this resolution.
Okay.
So it's not a permission, it's just let us know what happens.
Okay, thank you so much.
So that could be 2 hours, it could be 24, it could be 2 weeks. Because I know that you are busy with a lot of very important things. So it will be waited. It's a lot of discretion, but
Okay,
again,
thank you so much. I completely understand now. Thank you.
Okay.
Ernie, what was your other motion?
Well, just this is a kind of an aside that we consider the issue regarding graduation in May or actually that I'm requesting that she consider the decision regarding graduation in May rather than April, simply because April is just we know if we base it upon current facts, it's not, it's obviously not an accurate view of what was going to happen in May or June. And I do know that there's a lot of lead time with this, so you can't wait till, say, July to decide on something in July. So.
Yeah. Ernie?
Yes?
So let's go ahead and finish the amendment and then go to public comments, and then we can have a discussion, and then we can talk about that.
Sure.
Okay, so Dr. Sue, are you good with the amendment?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay. Clerk, do we have any public comments on this item?
There is no public comments, Madam President.
Okay, discussion. Did you want to
I
finish?
call the question.
Oh, okay. So
I just had a question.
Okay, sorry, you were both talking. I couldn't hear it. What was that? Remember to state your name.
Sophia also have a question.
But I heard somebody else call for a question.
Yeah, this is Apodaca. I call the question to vote on the amendments as well, or to vote on the amendments and move forward on the action item.
Got it. Okay, so roll call, please, Danielle, and then we'll move to discussion.
Mr. Apodaca?
Yes.
Mr. La?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Nishi?
Yes?
Dr. Rios?
Yes.
Mrs. Say?
Yes.
Mrs. Yu?
Yes.
The amended motion passes 7-0.
Thank you.
Okay, wait. So does that mean we can't have any discussion about it now? Oh.
You're the chair. You can open it back up if you wanted. Yes.
Yeah. We really didn't get a chance.
Yeah, it sounds like people wanted a comment. I thought that the question was for the amendment.
Correct.
Okay, so now we can have discussion on the resolution itself. Sophia, did you want to say something?
After Sophie, Sue, number 2.
Hear me? Regarding the postpone the graduation, still uncertain though, because you said May. The state of emergency still postponed it. I was told probably even June, July. So it's really hard to give a definite date there, but it's postponed. I mean, I support it to postpone, but the date is uncertain though.
This is Ernie. That decision would be in the discretion of the superintendent with this particular resolution. I'm just suggesting that she not make a decision in April. That's all. I'm not requiring it. This would be within the authority of the superintendent, based upon the conditions and the facts as she sees them, and considering the parents and all the input of all the stakeholders in this particular very important decision. I'm just asking that it not be made in April.
Thank you.
And I think you may be right that may be also soon. But I can't, I don't know all the logistical details of a graduation, some of the advanced planning that needs to be done. You know, there's issues regarding when that particular delayed graduation would potentially be. Would it be July? What if all the schools move their start date earlier? Maybe we could do it in August.
Okay, next. Oh, sorry, Ernie.
That's it.
Okay, next.
Sue? Is it my turn?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Madam President. In this state of emergency all over the nation, I think that this is a necessary action to take and necessary resolution. And on this note, I'm just wondering if in the near future, if Dr. Sue and the school district, there are many issues coming up, such as graduation, and then there's going to be a few other things that comes up, constantly. And I wonder if we can have like a emergency task committee or even a board study session to address some of these issues, such as graduation or even health and safety issue. And thank you, Tuan, for going over the health and safety. But because coronavirus is a very new thing, nobody really, we're not prepared, right? And new informations are coming out of the news every day. And with the information that we have, hello, I wonder if it's possible to even have a training session, educating and training session for our essential workers, people in the nutrition, or even administrators who may need to return to when the district office opens up again, to prepare for the next step, next stage. I know that we get direction from the state and LACO, but when the governor gives us a green light, we want to be prepared and ready. And for us board members, I think that it would be very helpful. Like today, it was very informative, and I would like to continue to engage in this kind of conversation so that I know what's going on and I can ask questions. And another thing that I would like to bring up is the BB project. This is a perfect time, actually, when no one is in the school, to facilitate and work on the BB project and maybe prioritize our bathrooms and make hand washing stations just to be prepared for the fall, if the governor gives us a green light to open up. And everything is so uncertain, but I think it would be good if we can be prepared. That's all.
Apodaca?
Okay. Yes, and sorry, Chris, just a minute. Board members, remember that this item is on the resolution. We will have an opportunity on board reports to make recommendations or comments.
Okay.
Go ahead, Chris.
Thank you, Madam President. I would say that I trust the superintendent and the cabinet, especially. I want to make sure they have as much leeway with what the day-to-day operations call for. I think we received an update with regards to the state recommending masks, LACO recommending masks, CDC recommending masks, and that same day that they made the recommendation, we received our daily update from the superintendent saying we've ordered 5,000 masks. I think that we need to continue to let her do what she does, as well as the cabinet. And, as long as we continue to receive those daily updates, which we've received every single day since we dismissed students and closed the sites, trust me, I'm confident that I'm not the only person calling her, texting her, or emailing her, asking her for clarification on the daily updates. And so I think to try to micromanage her or add any other, overlays after we've given her authority to manage the schools, especially when it comes to the health and safety of our workers, our employees and our students, I think is unnecessary, especially given her track record as our superintendent and given the cabinet and staff's track record. So I think that with this resolution and the amendment, giving her more time to deal with April as April comes, allowing her to assess the situation as it develops nationally and globally, but more importantly locally for us, is one less thing that she has to worry about. And I think that the resolution as amended is good, and we should approve it. And as an aside, I don't think that now is the most appropriate time to discuss construction projects or BD, especially if it's not safe for them to be within our neighborhoods or at our school sites. I yield back. Thank you.
President Olga, I have a question. Sophia.
Sophia?
This is to Tuan. Back into staff, the meal. I heard from some parents has concerns The student has to be accompanied with that, with the parent to pick up the mail, or they don't have to?
Sophia, right now we're having a discussion on the resolution.
Yeah, but the Tuan was to talk about attendance and the meal. That included that this is talking about child's welfare.
Dr. Sue, will there be another time to discuss and address Sophia's point?
The child's welfare.
No, we can discuss that because I know that the resolution was already voted on unanimously.
Oh, okay.
So there will be other opportunities for us to continue discussing this later.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Okay, if not, we move on to the next action item, 2.3-A, provisional internship permit for Susan Clark. May I have a motion to approve the provisional internship permit for Susan Clark effective April 8th, 2020 through 2020-2021 school year?
Apodaca, so moved.
Mendoza, second. Any public comment? Any discussion? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Apodaca?
Aye.
Mr. La?
Aye.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Aye.
Mr. Nishi?
Yes.
Dr. Rios?
Yes.
Mrs. Say?
Yes.
Mrs. Yu?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, item 4.8-A, bid award. May I have a motion to approve bid award ABC-1555 for installation of heating, ventilation, and air conditioning at Tracy High School, Cerritos, and Ferguson Elementary Schools to K&J Air Conditioning as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder?
Apodaca, so moved.
Law, second.
Mr. Wen?
Thank you, Dr. Rios. We are moving forward with the annual maintenance projects. For this 4.8, we are installing 54 HVAC units at Tracy High School, Cerritos Elementary, and Ferguson Elementary Schools. The units was purchased by us already for $298,000. The bid award here is for the installation of the units. The reason we do that is so that we can save money to purchase the unit directly from the manufacturer and have the contractor just install the unit. We have 6 bids for this project. 7, and K&J is the lowest bidder at $384,725. They have worked for us before in the last 4 years. They are a local contractor, and they are responsible and responsive. So we are recommending that the board approve the award to this contractor for the installations of HVAC units at Tracy High School, Cerritos, and Ferguson Elementary School this summer.
Okay, we're still hearing a lot of feedback. Again, I ask that you please mute your mic while not speaking. Okay, any public comments or discussion?
There is no public comments.
Any discussion?
Yes, I have a question. Sue, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead, Sue.
So, Tuan, this is part of the maintenance budget.
That is correct. This has nothing to do with Measure BB. The district is responsible for all maintenance projects, all the permitting projects, including roofing, HVAC, and to maintain our school. So this will come out of the deferred maintenance project.
Okay. Another question is, so there's once they get the bidding, they're starting this project in the summer?
Correct.
Is that what
we schedule for them to start in the summer. However, due to the fact that school is out, they may be able to start sooner.
that was the point that I wanted to make. Is it would be good to, and that this is part of like essential work. Like, are they able to work?
Yes, they are. This is an essential activity that is clearly in the governor's executive order. All public constructions are exempt from the order, so they can and have been doing the work. They need to practice social distancing within themselves, and they know that. But yes, we can do that. And to answer your other question, we are also ramping up more projects than normal because we have an extra 3 or 4 months to do more deferred maintenance projects as needed between now and the end of August.
That is wonderful to hear because we do need to encourage the people who can work to gain income and to move the economy. Thank you very much, Juan.
You're welcome.
Okay, hearing no more comments. Oh.
One more, really quick. So, Juan, I just wanted to note that although this bid is 2/5 all the other bids, that this comes within your expectation, your estimate of a reasonable bid, and that this contractor does not have any excessive change orders in the history of his working with the district.
That is
right?
correct. That is correct. We budgeted for the project about $420,000. So they came in at $384, which is very good, a little bit under budget. We have worked with this vendor, and he's a local vendor. He's out of Buena Park for the last 4 years. This is not his first time installing HVAC system for us. So he's familiar with the district. He's familiar with the unit. So that's why he can be competitive.
And so also that his history is change orders of under 5%, which means that we don't expect him to suddenly inflate his bill to the next highest bid, right?
That is correct. We have not had that experience with him, and all change orders have to be approved by us, so we are controlling that.
Thank you.
Hello?
No further questions.
President Sophie, have a question?
Hey, Sophia?
Oh, Tuan. No, there's a 15 to 20 years maintenance, life expectancy. Who's following the monitor maintenance? Every year we do, including that?
Yes, so the maintenance operation, the MOT staff have a preventive maintenance schedule to look at all the items that for deferred maintenance, from roofing to painting to HVAC units to flooring, and they are on rotation schedule, and when they up for to be replaced, we will bring forward to the board for replacement. So we're on top of things when it comes to deferred maintenance.
So this is including the bid?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
Yes, Madam President Mendoza.
Oh, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam President. Tuana, I have a quick question. After they complete the work at the schools, are we going to go back and sanitize the schools again, or is that going to be their responsibility?
It would be their responsibility to clean up after themselves. However, we have our own custodian staff that are at the school every day, deep cleaning, disinfections, and make sure that our schools are ready for the students if they come back in the fall.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Apodaca?
Hello?
Mr. Apodaca?
Aye.
Mr. La? Mr. La?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Nishi?
Yes.
Dr. Rios?
Yes.
Mrs. Say?
Yes.
Mrs. Yu?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Item 4.9-A, may I have a motion to approve bid award ABC-1556 for roofing at Artesia High, Aloha, and Kennedy Elementary School for Best Contracting Services, Inc., as the lowest responsive and responsible bidder.
So moved.
So moved. Oh, second, Mendoza.
Mr. Wen?
Thank you, Dr. Rios. Again, this is another deferred maintenance project, a big ticket item. Last year, we did roofing at Gar and Fetty. This year, we will be doing roofing at Artesia High School, Aloha, and Kennedy Elementary School. These are the schools that need to be replaced coming up this summer. We received 4 bids for this project, and it's competitive between the lowest and the second lowest. Usually, ERC Roofing has been the lowest bidder, but this year, Best Contracting best them. So the recommendation here is to award the contract to Best Contracting Services for roofing replacement at Artesia High School, Aloha, and Kennedy Elementary School for $1,647,800.
Any public comments? Discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Apodaca?
Aye.
Mr. La?
Yes.
Mrs. Mendoza?
Yes.
Mr. Nishi?
Yes.
Dr. Rios?
Yes.
Mrs. Say?
Yes.
Mrs. Yu?
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0.
Okay, at this time we have board members' reports, and I think it'd be easier if I just went down the list and called on you, and then you can go ahead and give us your report. So we'll start with Vice President Mendoza.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to start off by thanking our ABC families for staying home and staying safe. I want our families to know that we're living in this uncertain time, and we're all there with you. We're teaching our kids, we're cleaning, we're cooking, we're shopping, and I know it's a challenging time, but we remember that we're all in this together to keep us all safe. Also, during this teaching and learning in a time of COVID-19, I want to thank our students for continuing their education and for their dedication. As a district, I hope that everyone knows that we're being mindful that not all our families have the same resources. Some of our families are single-parent families, working parents, older siblings caring for their younger siblings, elderly caregivers who don't speak English, or they may not have the technology skills, or the internet is being used by many family members and not working well. And so as a district, we need to meet students where they are. And yes, they may have devices, but they need an alternate form of learning. So I want our families to know that if they do need assistance, to please reach out to the district so that we can help you with what you need. To our high school seniors, our 8th graders, and our 6th grader students, please know that the district and your schools are already working on a way to recognize you in a way that is the safest for you, for your families, and for our staff. I want to give a really big thank you to our ABC staff. They're still working during this time. They're out there sanitizing our schools. They're serving meals. They're making lesson plans. And they're planning. School's not closed. They're out there planning. So I do appreciate all the work that you're doing. And also I want to remind all our families that since we're home, if you can take some time to fill out your census form. It only takes a few minutes, and it means a lot to our schools. We do get funding from the census forms. If you want to see how your city is doing, just go on to 2020census.gov. Families, please remember to make use of our Grab and Go program. And to all our ABC families, stay home, stay safe, stay well, and God bless. That ends my board report, Madam President.
Thank you. You?
Thank you, Madam President. And thank you, Board Member Letty Mendoza, for hitting all those important points and sharing from your heart. moms, dads, grandmas, and students. Yeah, I also want to thank you for going through this process together, and we're all in it together. I want to take this time to thank our president for shutting the flights from China early on in January, and our governor, Newsom, for looking at New York's case and calling on social distancing early on. And that this way we were able to prevent death and infection. And I want to just encourage all the family members, everyone in our community, in our district, to practice social distancing for the next few weeks, because these are very critical few weeks where the infection is spreading down to our area. Please stay safe. And we are living in unprecedented times, and I want to again thank our ABC district, Dr. Sue, and the cabinet members, the staff, and the teachers for doing your best to really accommodate to the changes and the needs of our trying times. Thank you, and stay safe. And for the students, please keep up with your studies. Thank you. That's the end of my report.
Okay, next we'll go with our board members in alphabetical order. Board Member Apodaca.
Thank you, Madam President. I wanted to thank everybody for being here and making it. Maynard helped me with dialing in using my rotary phone, so thank you, Board Member Law, for that. I appreciate it. And I want to remind everyone that we'll get through this. Like every other scourge that's come through this way, this too shall pass. And remember that we're here for you, and not just when it comes to academics or when it comes to schools, but also anything else. We have great relationships with our city councils, with the county, with our state legislators, and we're here for you. We're here for you. So please continue to reach out to us when you have concerns or questions about anything that's going on. I want to thank our wellness coordinators. I want to thank Safe Schools. I want to thank our nutrition workers for continuing to look at this for what it is, which is a global health crisis, and more than anything, a greater risk and a greater exposure for the most vulnerable students in our district. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for the hard work that you continue to do. And to the 100, I did the tally today, 158 high school seniors that sent me text messages on Friday and Saturday from Artesia and Cerrito High Schools, all of which I called back since Friday up until yesterday. Thank you for your passion, and it's great to hear from you, because our main purpose is to serve you and to make sure that you receive a quality public education. And I'm not going to lie, I've had my doubts, and I've had my hems and my haws about this generation, so to speak, right? But speaking to our seniors, our high school seniors, it is very, very clear that we've done a great job in forming productive citizens. And I honestly can't stress how proud I am of you, and ultimately our board is of you, because let's face it, this is the first time I think ever, at least since I've been on the board, where a majority of the public comments were from students. And so thank you for reaching out to us. Thank you for engaging your local government, because that's why we're here. And to end it, I look forward to shaking your hand, congratulating you, and handing you your diploma in person, hopefully one day very, very soon. That said, everyone, please be safe, be careful, stay inside if you can, and for those of you who are essential, thank you for what you do. Everybody from the cashiers and the grocery baggers all the way up to anybody else working in government and essential services. We appreciate you. Thank you. God bless you and keep you.
Okay, next we have Board Member Law.
Thank you, Madam President. Chris, you took all my stuff. I don't have any time left. A couple things, though. I think a person that we really need to praise and really thank for what the job they're doing is Scott. He has really stepped up for us in our district. He's on everything that's going on, and he keeps us informed through Dr. Sue. But he's writing a lot of that stuff, and it gets sent out. A second point is we have a lot of kids now that have never gone through this kind of thing where they're staying home by themselves or with their brother or with their mother. And I think we need to work on those students and those families that we have, that they can figure out a way to have contact by phone or Facebook or some kind of system so that they can keep in touch with their fellow students. I have 4 grandkids, and that's the biggest thing I hear. We FaceTime, and I think they're very conscious of wanting to know something about what's happening with their friends, and I think that helps us get through this, and it's going to be a long time. So I would encourage our families that have those kind of capabilities to use them, talk to their students and have their students talk to their friends, and it helps. I get tired of looking at their faces on FaceTime, but it's okay. Anyway, I think we're doing a great job for what we're trying to do here, and the most important thing is we got to get through this together. And right now, we need to stay in the house, and we don't need to go out. We don't need to have. I see people driving away in my neighborhood, and I don't know where they're going, but they don't need to do that. If you're desperate to get food, you can call a company to have it delivered. Anyway, thank you very much for all the work that Dr. Sue and our staff is doing. It's been a real pull together kind of thing, a real military effort, a real thing that we would be proud of no matter what, and we're more proud of it because it's ours. That's it. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Board Member Nishi?
Yes, I'll try to keep it really short. First, I would like to thank Dr. Mary Sue for all of the effort that she has been going through, answering millions of questions from everybody and pesky board members like me. Generally very complete answers, and I'm really thankful for all the time. I can email her on a Saturday, which I couldn't be doing, and she will respond. Also, Dr. Wise, actually, in terms of listening to students and finding what critical elements of a graduation that the students really appreciate. This is like the worst. It's like triage on one of the best experiences that you would have in high school. We'll get through this. I'm hoping that we can provide. I got so many calls and texts and emails and very articulate. It's heartbreaking. Our number one priority, though, is also beyond graduation, having life, and that's important too. I'm hoping that we can honor the wrestling and the articulate basketball and Cerritos MUN and all the groups that had some major achievements before we closed, and maybe even try to do a virtual ribbon cutting at Kennedy for the Head Start thing that we did. Hopefully we can figure out how we're going to reopen in September or October or whenever it becomes determined safe. What are the specific criteria we plan to use when we open and how we can make it as safe as possible. And I'm also thankful for you, Madam President, for putting ideas and items on the agenda, including hopefully hygiene type of things like bathrooms on the next agenda. So I am grateful for that we have a great team here. All of us together working. And good night. Stay well. Stay in.
Thank you. Board Member Say?
Thank you, President. 3 things. As healthcare provider, I would like to public announce this is a very contagious disease. Stay home, not to save you, also protect others. As a teacher, I want to say thank you to all the teachers and the workers. I really sincerely appreciate. I know exactly how you feel. Teaching online actually not only 4 hours, 3 hours. Actually, it's almost 12 hours. That's my personal experience right now. So I want to thank you to all the teachers, try the best you can. And I'm also commended to our superintendent. Please work with the teacher and the principal. Provide as much you can to their needs. So in order to definitely will provide educational welfare to our children. As to the parents, I want you to hear this from us. We are doing our best to pass all the things that children need. We're talking about the welfare, the safety, and educational welfare to all students. So please be patient with us. Any concern, please contact your teacher, follow the 10 commands, and we are there. We are here to support your needs. As a student, I am aware that your needs, especially on graduation, is just once in the high school, elementary school, junior high. But please, this is a very serious, this is like life and death disease right now we're having right now. So please be safe. And I am supporting your needs, but I'm also looking for your welfare, your health. So once again, Dr. As an administrator, I want to say thank you very much, Dr. Su. And I know you meet your cabinet once a week. I know there's a lot of needs in there, and you're pulling in all directions. I am here to support you. Thank you very much. That will be my end report. Thank you, President.
Well, thank you. My report is just also to extend a special thanks to our board, our superintendent, Dr. Su, our staff, teachers, students, and their families. These are definitely unprecedented times, and this situation has created unique challenges. But I am so proud that as a district, we have done our best to step up and face these challenges. The situation has allowed us, I think, to see the best in all of us. And, especially in our staff. I especially want to commend the people serving meals to our students. I want to commend our principals who are coordinating teachers to provide this continuity of learning that we've been designated to do. A special recognition to our cabinet. I know that the moment that this situation became a reality, they worked tirelessly and into the weekend to put a program that we would be proud of. So a special thanks to all of them. Lastly, I want to acknowledge that the voice of our seniors, over the past week, many students I know reached out to a lot of us from across the district and let us know, shared with us very personal stories of some of them were heartwarming, some of them were, of their stories of their struggles and, of their resiliency. And so I appreciate that they spoke up. I appreciate their coming to us. I assure them that we would explore all options. I think this is going to remain to be our biggest challenge because we don't know what's going to happen. These are very uncertain times. But I know that they would love to see something done have an in-person celebration. We heard that clearly. We cannot control that. We cannot make any promises given that we don't know exactly how long this safer at home order will last. But in the meantime, I am happy that we are continuing to ask for their input and trust that, we hope that they trust that we will put an event that will celebrate their momentous occasion as best we can, but that will also align with what we need to do to stay safe. Keep in mind that there has been a plea for us to stay home as much as possible for the next 2 weeks. Please do so. If you're going out, please wear a mask on a regular basis, wash your hands, and again, just stay safe. Thank you all for participating in today's meeting. As Vice President Mendoza mentioned, don't forget to fill out your census form. And as somebody else mentioned, also, we will get through this together.
Apodaca, one quick comment, Madam President. I'm
Yes.
sorry, I apologize. And actually, I have to point out that the superintendent meets with her cabinet every single day for 2 hours just for briefings. That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you. Our next regular board meeting will be Tuesday, May 5th, 2020, 7 p.m. I assume it will probably be virtually, but we will notify you should that change. Any second public comments? Clerk Sue?
Madam President, there is none.
Okay, at this time, may I have a motion to adjourn?
Apodaca, so moved.
Mendoza, second.
Roll call, please.
You don't need a roll call.
We don't need a roll call. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay. Meeting adjourned. Good night, everyone. Stay safe.
Good night. Okay, good night, everyone.
Aye.
Good night.